I have really bad Wi-Fi, so I hope that this works. I haven't been live in so long because I've been so scared to go live. Hey everyone. I quite honestly didn't really want to bring anything up during the holidays or anything, and it's just been okay. I wanted to do a live, first of all, because I've tried talking and sharing my story in so many ways. I've made so many YouTube videos that I've ended up deleting because I'm a mess throughout them, or it doesn't feel natural when I have to like cut and edit things out. I've tried writing books. I've sat and tried writing things out like 5 times, like books, like chapters. I've tried to get through them. I've tried because I just want people to understand, and I know it's like, oh, people's opinions don't matter, like whatever, but no, it does matter to me, because so much of what happened to me has been invalidated and since I was 16, let's just start there. Since I was 16 years old, I have been living in fear, have been shamed, guilt, lied to, mentally abused, just put in a corner and shoved down. Be quiet. Don't tell anyone. You're doing this for us. You're doing it for us. All this stuff. And sorry, I just got a text and I just got distracted. But basically, I've been silent since I was 16. 16. First person I had ever been with. First boyfriend I've ever had. I come from a Christian family. I come from a very, together family, very supportive of one another, very loving, and, I grew up under that. So, going into the real world is hard. Especially when you're younger, and I'm such an independent person. I'm someone who just wants to be who they are, you know? So when I was 16, I started dating Jack. But actually, about 2 years before that, we were friends and we were talking. And, someone said they can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Okay. Just say what you want. Thank you. I'm trying. I don't know, people are going to be, so mad or whatever. But why are you mad at the truth? You shouldn't be mad at something that's true. The only reason why you'd be mad at it is because you don't like it. So, anyway, this is just my story. I'm not bringing anyone down. I'm not going to lie or change it or stop anything. I'm just going to tell you the story, the truth. Okay, so I was 16 years old when I was trying to figure out myself. Didn't really like school too much. I just knew I wanted to do so many things. I wanted to be a professional surfer. I wanted to be a marine biologist. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be everything. So many things. I just wanted to conquer the world, basically. And I was 16. I fell in love with someone. It wasn't, now looking back, it was not a relationship that was each of us were putting in and getting something out of it, you know? It wasn't a safe relationship because no one would put you in this position. I just go back so much and I'm like, I can't believe I was being told that I was loved when I was literally hated. I would never put someone I love through these things for myself. It's crazy. I've gone over this so many times. I'm sorry if I'm getting off topic or I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to talk, and I'm just honestly just fed up. And this mainly started, and this mainly just really boiled in me because, like, I don't know, some people might know, some people don't. Okay, people are telling me to breathe. Okay. But, so, I'm sorry again if I'm all over the place. I'll go back to me being 16. But, being a young parent is hard. Split parents is hard, right? So, everyone who's constantly we're doing it in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and everyone's always mad about everything, about how I parent, how I do this, how I do that, how I do this. And it's just so funny because if I acted the way that he did, I would be destroyed. But Taylor Swift, like she says, if you were a man, it'd be way different, right? This all started, my, I guess, final last straw was I was having a really hard week this past week, just personal things that are happening with my life that, just like everyone has personal things. Nothing necessarily bad, it ends up being okay, but it was very, very scary. And it was just a hard week already. So Lavender, my daughter, is supposed to be spending, she is. So she's supposed to spend this Christmas with her dad, which is just, it's every other Christmas, which also no one's business, but everyone seems to have an opinion and wants to talk about, you know, who should get who and how it should be split. Like, this is a child you're talking about. A child. No one deserves a child. No one deserves, she's not like a thing. Like, you all talk about her like she is a car or a house or something that needs to be split and shared. Like, no, she is a child. She has opinions, she has a voice, and she should be listened to. And it blows my mind how many people treat her like a thing. I cannot even tell you it. I get so worked up about it. And someone saying everyone's allowed an opinion. Like, yeah, you're allowed an opinion, but like, about someone else's life? Just because we're on Instagram, you're allowed an opinion about someone's life? Not really understanding that too much. But anyway, this started because having a hard week. Lavender was supposed to go. So since July, I have been taking Lavender to LA for her visits. I have flown there. No one's taking his daughter from him. Never have. Okay? I'm flying there. It's supposed to be every other month where he flies to me, I fly to him, right? But because, I don't know, it is what it is, life. He hasn't been coming since July. Yeah, July. Because, you know, he'll say the day before, oh, I'm sick, or I got COVID, or I have work, or whatever, the day before a visit. So I've already made plans. Of course, I have to cancel my plans and be like, okay, well, I have to take this week and take care of my child. So that's been going on since July, and so I've been flying there. I'm flying there so he can see her, okay? I'm flying there so he can see her. Me doing the work, and it's fine. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, yet again, here's another point in my life where I'm making sacrifices. That's my money I'm spending, my time I'm spending, and that's fine. You know, what is what it is. I mean, I don't think it's fine, but you know what I'm saying, okay? Someone said, even if you are taking him from her, you have every right to. Yeah, you think that. After what someone has been through when they're abused. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, getting off topic. So, don't worry, I'll get to everything. Okay, but you moved to Hawaii? Yeah, don't even get me started. Okay, so, sorry, I don't want to get too heated, but, I fly from where we live on Kauai. So I fly once a month, and I should stop reading the comments. And he flies. Yes, but I never lived in LA. I only moved there so he could be with her. I moved there from Florida. I lived in Florida with my family because I was 16 years old going to high school. And I moved to LA so he could be with her, even though he was on tour, he was partying, whatever, my whole pregnancy, right? But I moved there and I'm supposed to stay there my whole life? No. Anyway. So this all started because I'm supposed to fly there. Okay, I don't know how to disable comments. That's a great idea. I don't know how to. Sometimes I want to talk to people. I don't know how to, I'm just going to ignore them. You can swipe them off the screen. Oh, did I do it? Okay. Anyway, so it all started because I was supposed to go this month, and I have been going like, for the past however many months. Haven't missed a single month. He's missed plenty. He's canceled plenty. I can never cancel one. Even if I have something going on or, like, I want to change a date, it's always hard. It's always hard for the mother to do anything wrong, but the father can do whatever they want. It just sucks. So I've been flying there for the past however many months, and that's just hard. Like, you know, like, you want to be home, and it's not what someone wants to do, but I just do it because I don't want to be in trouble, and I'm always in fear, and blah blah. So anyway, again, this all started because okay, the comments are still bothering me. Anyway, I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. I got really sick and personal, but I, like, physically could not get on a flight that night. And I told him, like, hey, like, I cannot fly there, so, but you can come and pick her up. Like, if you could come fly here and pick her up, like, that's the way that you're gonna, like, I can't fly, basically, and I don't want to send her with anyone else, you know? And so it just became a whole argument. It became always, you know, you never do anything, like, you never do anything, I do everything for you, like, all this stuff, always degrading. I could not pull up a text that's not degrading. I know, I never talk about it. I feel like I never can because I'm so scared because, oh no, like, he's the one being hurt, like, he's the one, like, Gabriella's so mean, all this stuff. Oh my gosh. But sorry, I don't know where the comments are. I don't know how to do this. Oh, I see them. Okay, that makes it a lot better. So I just always have, it's always something, always, and it's always me being the bad guy when I'm like, oh my gosh, all I'm doing is trying to, like, have peace and move on, and I'm just trying to be a normal person, but it's like, it's not talking to a normal person. It's like World War III every time there's a conversation. I asked him to come. Comes a fight. I'm like, listen, I'm just sick. Can you please just, like, come? Like, I'm sure I was a little more angry than that. And I was like, you've missed visits being sick. Like, I'm not even saying to miss it. Like, I'm just saying come pick her up. Like, I can't go. He's like, well, I can't come. I'm like, okay, well, why can't you come? Don't say anything. And then I'm, like, trying to work back and forth with him, and then he texts me, like, I don't care that you're sick. Take some medicine and get on the damn plane. Lavender will be here. Get on the damn plane. And I'm just trying to be like, I'm sick. I can't get on a plane with my toddler right now. Anyway, his mom goes and tweets I'm a terrible person. I'm keeping his daughter from him. Like always, that's their thing they always go to is I'm keeping his daughter from him when, like, that has never happened. We'll go back to it. I still don't know why they go. I don't know why that's their go-to. Maybe because it makes me look like a bad person, or because it's worked in the past. And people base everything off of Instagram. So, like, if he doesn't post pictures with her, that means he's not seeing her. Or if he says, I don't see Lavender, like, people are just like, okay, then Gabriella's a horrible mother and is taking her daughter from her dad. Like, no. Crazy. The internet really sucks, but so that started the whole thing, and I was just like, are you serious? Because of course Christmas time, I'm already not gonna be with my daughter, which is really sad. Like, obviously we're, like, best friends. I love her. We do everything together. It's hard being without her, and people will say, oh, well, of course it's hard for him being without her. Yeah, but he can move next door if he wants to. I moved for him, you know? I just am like, if it was the other way around, I would do anything. But he has to work, and that's the job he wants. That's his job he wants to do, and that is what it is. Why can't I have my life? I want to live where I want to live and have my dream life and my dream job, and he can have his too. Sorry it happened when we were young and we're split. Like, get over it. So that all happened, and she tweeted that, and I was just like, why? Like, why? And then people get mad at my mom for sticking up for me. My mom's so fed up. Are you kidding? Imagine being a mother and seeing your daughter literally being dragged by the hair through the mud and then thrown in the back of a dumpster. I would be mad if someone treated Lavender the way I've been treated. Oh, it'd be over. But for some reason, my mom's petting her. His mom's not. She's tweeting about the mother of her grandchild. Like, you might as well just be spitting in my face. I hid my pregnancy for him. Don't even get me started on that. We'll get there. Oh, sorry, I don't want to get too heated. I'm trying to keep it neutral. My foot fell asleep. But I mean, this is the first time I've been able to tell it without crying, and that's because of a lot of therapy, a lot of really good friends, an amazing boyfriend, and great family have enabled me to feel strong enough to even do this right now. And I usually fall apart. Like, I'm still, like, you know, very worked up because it's scary to talk about, because I've literally been threatened, like, with my life if I talked about this stuff. Threatened my career, my daughter. I've been threatened with anything that I love because I'm so hated, and I don't know why. I don't know why they hate me so much. I don't. And when I mean they, I mean all of them, their whole little world, except for the other parents. The other parents have been very kind to me, which we'll get into as well, because I don't want to bring too many people down. That's not supposed to, you know. I want to just tell the truth. I'm trying to tell the truth without it being too biased, and it's hard because I'm very upset, like, honestly very upset. And anyway, so yeah, that started because of that, and I was just, like, getting super mean DMs. I'm like, it's Christmas, like, I just want a peaceful Christmas. I just couldn't fly there because I was sick. I said I would pick her up if I felt better by then, you know. And of course, it just started a whole thing, and she had to tweet mean things about me that, of course, people believe, come and drag me down, all in my tags. I was just on the phone with my mom all day, I shit crying and talking to lawyers, and it just becomes a whole thing, and that's how I'm spending my holidays. Again, this is my third holiday in a row being spent like that. I was like, no, I'm so sick of this. And I called my manager today, and I was like, can I talk about this? And he's like, you know what, like, you are so strong. You have let them bully you. You have been silent. He's like, speak your truth. And I love him for that. Thank you so much, because it means so much to have someone tell me, like, you deserve to talk about what you want to talk about. Because I haven't had someone say that to me. And I was like, and my manager said, like, you deserve it. Like, you deserve to be yourself on the internet. You deserve to speak your truth, and the right people will love you, and if the other people don't, like, it's their loss. And he's right. Thanks, homie. But yeah, so that just triggered me and sparked all of this in me, and I've just been so afraid, because I am afraid of that. I'm afraid of them tweeting and saying, oh, she's a horrible person, oh, she did this, she did that. But I'm like, what could they say? Because I really don't know. I really don't know what they could actually say besides what they already say right now. Oh, she doesn't let him see her. But I'm flying there every month. I'm flying there around your schedule, around your work schedule, when you also say you're not working, but you are working, but you're not, but you are. And, you know, I just see him out partying and stuff, and, like, that's fine if you want to live your life like that, whatever. But I'm like, I'm at home taking care of Lavender, which I love. And this starts from when I was pregnant. Trying to keep it in. Sorry, everyone. And I know there'll be people that'll still defend him and whatever, because for some reason men just... Oh my god, my mom just texted me that she's live. This is so insane. Oh my gosh. Well, whatever. Like I said, I could... Look, me right now just trying to speak about my story, and they're just immediately taking the attention away. Crazy. I'm still gonna talk, though. And she is 50 years old. Give me a break. She had 2 kids when she was younger from a split marriage. And she has literally no sympathy for me. Or nothing. Gosh. Anyway, let's start from the beginning. I don't know what they'll have to say about me. I'm sure it's something bad. And like I said, there's 2 sides to every story. But I really would love to hear their side, because all I hear all day is that I'm a terrible person, that he hates me, that I ruined his life, all these things. Anyway, my mom said she didn't mean to text that, so I don't know. My mom just needs to stop texting me. Thanks, love you, Mom. But my parents, I love them so much. They've been through so much with this. My whole family has been through so much. Like, imagine how much this hurts a family, like, seeing your sister and your daughter go through so much, you know? So shall we start from the beginning? I think we shall. Cannot believe I'm doing this, quite honestly. So, I, like, knew him, Jack. It's so hard to say this name because I don't want to be like... So, when I was, like, 14, I don't know, he found me, like, through a mutual friend, yada yada. I never really dated too much. I didn't really know, like, I don't know, I just was very innocent up until, like, high school. And, like, even in high school, I never drank, never partied, like, that wasn't really me. I just didn't care for it, because, like I said, I wanted to do so much. I was like, just get me out of here, like, so I can, like, be myself, like, I can be me, I can do all these really cool things, like, be a vet, or be a marine biologist, or be a pro surfer. Like, I just wanted to do something. I wanted to travel, I wanted to move to Africa, move to Australia, move to, like, I was just ready to go do something really cool. And school just felt like it was holding me back, because I'm with a bunch of people in high school, and I'm just like, whatever. So I did virtual school. So I knew him when he was 14. We didn't meet until I was 16. So I didn't really know, like, a lot. Like, I didn't know what being gaslit was. I didn't know what manipulating or, like, grooming, like, I didn't know what that stuff was until now. Like, now I can look back after therapy, after talking with parents, I can look back and be like, oh my gosh, the signs were there, and I was just too naive to notice, and that sucks. But being 16, never having a boyfriend, I've never slept with anyone, I just cling to him. I don't know why he said all the right stuff. He said he loved me, I was his dream girl, I was perfect for him, he wanted to be with me forever, and that's just the stuff I wanted. Like, I wanted that so bad. My parents have always been married, I've always looked up to their relationship, my grandparents have always been married their whole life, looked up to them. You know, you're just like 16, you watch The Notebook and things like that, and you're just like, that's what I want, you know? Which now, again, looking back, now I know what real life is and what a real partner is supposed to be, you know? You can talk all you want, but if you're not going to show anything, it's pointless. 16, and, you know, like, I know, like, at heart, was at least a very sweet person. Like, I fell in love for a reason, and I still to this day don't know if it was all fake or if there was real love there. I really cannot tell you, because sometimes I'm like, wow, I think I really just was fooled, like, so fooled, and I can't even believe I felt that I was loved, like, crazy. But I was 16, never been with anyone. I meet him in California. My mom came with me so I could meet him, because I was just like so head over heels, and my parents were trying to, like, not hold me back, because then they're like, then she'll, you know, they didn't want me so I could meet him. And I was just so excited. Like, again, he said all the right things, like, he was in a boy band, like, I got to meet his band members, I thought everyone was so cool and so nice, and I was like, and, you know, they all, like, smoked and drank. Like, I didn't really do that, and I was just kind of like, oh, is this what cool people do? Like, is this what you're supposed to do? Still didn't really, like, I left California, and, like, then, and I was his girlfriend or whatever, and we dated for about, I heard it too, like, his management was super controlling, super abusive, super horrible. Yes, Randy too. Yes, him, the one who they're glorifying so much right now. Yeah, they were both very abusive and scary. Like, I would hear stories and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like, this is actually really scary. But, you know, with, I don't know how contracts and things work, but I don't know, he'd probably come for my head, because Randy's, like, this one of the scariest people I know, and wanted me killed when I was pregnant, so why wouldn't he want me killed now? Oh yeah, it was about the wave, sorry. Okay, so dating him for, like, about because they saw, like, how much I liked him, and, like, he was sweet with my siblings, like, it was fine, whatever. So, and I know, like, trauma and abuse can make someone become a certain way, and I do think that may be the case, but if you don't get therapy and you don't get help and you don't believe that something, you know, there's issues, and you can't get better. So like, I think this was like the 3rd concert or whatever I'd been to, and we had just posted on Instagram for the first time. You know, it's kind of like a big deal when you're, you know, I don't know, it's like my first boyfriend I ever posted or like talked about ever to anyone immediately. And like, I was really good friends with other girlfriends of all the boys. We became really good friends because we bonded over a traumatic experience that we all share, and all of us have been through trauma because of this. I posted a picture with them, we posted pictures, super excited. You can live your life, like, I'll get you into Kylie Jenner's party, you can have any chick you want. Like, also, like, not true. But they had really good loyal girlfriends. Like, we were all loyal, we were all sweet, we were all just like, we're just in love. Like, why are people so mean? So our relationship just had to get shut down, basically. Couldn't post anything. One time I posted a picture laying in his lap, and you could see his tattoo, and he got a text within a minute saying she better delete that, or else, like, like, we'll kick you out of the band if she doesn't delete it, like, we'll do this to you if she doesn't delete it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry, like, I didn't mean to do that, I didn't think it was gonna be that big of a deal. And it's like so much stress on your relationship, on you as a person at 16. What the heck? So you're already dealing with that, right? I'm just giving the background of what kind of people that they are in behind the scenes. No one good. The music industry, there's no one good in it. Don't ever believe that. They all have sold their souls or bought someone out. So don't believe that. They're all horrible, evil men. Men, evil. So evil. Just, whew, don't even get me started. Talk about women haters, like, some of the biggest ones I know. Oh my gosh. So our relationship had to be kept under wraps. I always got mean DMs, haters, people hating me for dating him, people hating me because I broke his heart, which we were still together. Like, I don't know, like, if I'm like really close with all my friends, we have great relationships. Like, if my girl was like, this is what's happening, I'd be like, I'm right there. Like, if some girl is like, this happened to me, I'm like, girl, I'm with you. Like, because I know how bad men are, and I'm not saying women aren't, because I know some nasty women. I'll be talking about a few. But, like, I'm getting distracted. But, whew, we were dating, our relationship had to be kept under wraps. I had never been with anyone, ever. Like, I've never had sex with anyone. And, you know, all of the other girlfriends, like, they were a lot more advanced. They were older, and, like, they would talk about it a lot, and, like, kind of be like, this is what's, like, a part of their relationship. And I was just kind of like, oh, like, I didn't even, like, think about that. Like, I literally didn't even think about it. He brought it up once and, like, kind of dropped it, because I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, okay, well, and just, like, seeing girls, like, flock all over him, like, seeing, like, you know, it was, like, very, like, hard, because you're like, girls are, like, obsessed with your boyfriend and would literally throw themselves at him, and, like, you're not having sex with him. Like, obviously he's gonna dump you, and I hate to even think, I'm like, I'm so sorry you thought that, because that is not true. Like, the right person's gonna love you, you don't have to do that. But I didn't know that, and, like, so I was like, okay, like, I was, like, kind of scared too, like, again, not even thinking about sex really, like, I've never done anything. So I was like, okay, like, I bought protection condoms. Sorry if I'm being too, like, straight up, but I think that's just a part of the story. So I went and bought protection because I was like, okay, like, I know, like, I at least need some sort of protection, right? So we get to the point where, like, I'm like, okay, like, I think I'm ready, because I didn't want him to leave me, which, again, I'm so sorry. We don't need that. Like, trust me, we don't need that. And I was like, okay, don't need protection, okay. He was, like, so against using protection, and he knew I was on birth control. That was, like, well known. He was so against it. Like, so many situations I wish I was not put in, but I didn't know. Like, nope, we don't need it. I got it. Trust me. You will. He told me, these exact words came out of his mouth. You will never get pregnant. He'll probably say that never happened. I will remember it like it's just yesterday. He told me, looked me in the eyes. We were in one of the states in Europe. We're in Liverpool. We were in Liverpool, sitting backstage, and he looked at me in the eyes and said, "You will never get pregnant." Because I was like, I started freaking. That lasted for about 3 months before I got pregnant. Like, we'd even be like using protection. He would take it off mid. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know like what pulling out was and if it even worked or if he even was. Like, I literally to this day still cannot tell you what happened when I got pregnant. I've blocked out so much of that because I'm just like, I can't even think about it because I'm like, when did it happen? Like, how did it happen? Like, I wish he would be truthful with me because maybe I would know, but he will not be, and he'll probably tweet something or have to make an apology, or maybe not. I don't know. He would never apologize to me, but he might say some statement. Who knows what they'll say? I don't know. They always lie. About me, at least. I don't know why. So, 3 months, 4 months go by. I would get my period like every other month, and probably because I was still little and like wasn't really a woman yet. And if you're an athlete, you kind of know, like, my periods were like every other month. So I didn't even realize I was pregnant. I didn't know for like almost the whole first trimester. I think it was the whole first trimester before even finding out. I was feeling nauseous. I remember literally sitting on a date. I was like, I don't feel good. And I was like, I need to throw up. And he's like, no, you don't. And I was like, yes, I do. Went to the bathroom, threw up, I came back out. I was like, I just threw up. And he's like, no, you didn't. It's like, okay. Just threw up, but okay. I feel like there's like so much other things I can talk about too, but I don't know if I want to get into it because it's kind of like about their family, which I'm sure like I was ready to. So I was like, and like our relationship was like, obviously like now looking back, not good, but I thought it was fine. Though it was like pretty like controlling and like abusive. It was just like mental abuse. Like, obviously he never like necessarily laid a hand on me, but he might as well have because of like how much, like, it's crazy to me because like if I showed up in court, or if I showed up to a police officer with bruises covering my body, they would be like, who did this to you? Like, he's going to jail right now, like, da-da-da, right? But I have bruises all inside of my body. Scars, cuts, bruises all inside. And I walk up to someone, and it's the same thing. It's the same abuse. It's just one's physical and one's mental. But it doesn't get treated the same way. So that's hard, too, because you, like, feel so invalidated because people are like, well, I can't see it on you, so it must not be true. It's like, it's not how it works. But hopefully one day at this point, my body felt weird. I knew something was off. I just didn't want to believe it. And then finally, I was with my like best friend at the time, Emma. Like, me and Emma have been best friends since we were 2. And this was the only friend I had that knew the entire time I was pregnant. Because we were just really close, and she really wanted a baby. She's always wanted a baby her whole life, so I knew that if I told her or if I was with her that she wouldn't shame me for it. I needed to be with someone that wouldn't shame me. So about 2 months have gone by, I have not gotten my period. And I was like, okay, I think it's time to take the test. So I just turned 17. I'm in Target. 3 months ago. What? I'm like just disbelief. Like, I'm like, this is not true. I'm taking another test tomorrow. I am not pregnant. Like, I am not gonna get pregnant at 17, really. Like, I'm that girl. Like, everyone at school is gonna know. Like, my parents are gonna kill me. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, just so, like, I was like, he's gonna kill me. Are you kidding me? I was like, I'm never gonna tell him. Like, honestly, I was like, I could never tell him. Like, it's over for me. If I tell him, he's gonna hate me. I was right. It's like, he's gonna hate me forever, which I was right. I should have just listened to myself. So, I was just in such disbelief. Emma stayed the night that night. We were just tripping. We were like, no way. We went and got Baja Blast. That's all I. And I'm just like, I hadn't seen him because, like, I wouldn't see him for, like, months at a time because he'd be on tour or he'd be working. So I last saw him in beginning of August, and it was now the end of September. So I hadn't seen him in about a month, a little over a month. And I was like, okay, well, like, I'm not going to tell him over the phone. Like, I just should wait until it's like, no one knew. Like, my parents didn't know for over a month. I just knew by myself with Emma, of course. I would lay in bed every night and cry and say, like, I'm so sorry. I don't want to cry. Hold on. I would tell, like, the baby in my stomach that I was so sorry because I was scared that their life was gonna suck. So I told them I was so sorry that I did this to them. Which is not true, obviously, now. Oh my gosh, I don't want to cry. Hold on. I knew I'm gonna be strong because I can't pull the tears out. It's not worth it. They don't care. Okay. So I would just lay in bed and I would say, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna protect you. Like, and I would just lay in bed every day for a month, just be like, I'm so sorry. And I just felt so selfish. I was like, really? Like, I shouldn't have had sex. Like, I was like, backtracking, like, I'm getting punished for this, like, all these things. Like, I was like super scared and worried, and like, I don't know, I just like obviously, like, I could have gotten an abortion. Like, I mean, I didn't know how far along I was, but I just like already immediately felt so connected to the baby. Like, I was like, I am this baby's mother. Like, I will be its mother. Like, I will be a mother to this child. I don't care how old I am. I don't care what's it gonna stop me from. Felt that so strong, and like, I was having like, I've always had a relationship with God, and like lately my relationship has been a little difficult because of things that have happened, but I've been pretty open about it. Like, I grew up in a Christian family. I had my own relationship with God, separate than my parents, separate than my family or church or whatever. Like, I had my own relationship, but at the time I was like, I remember like a month before I was asking God, like, what am I supposed to do with my life? What am I supposed to do? I don't know. I was like, I feel so lost. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like, I want to do all these things. I'm dating this person that's living his dream. Like, what am I supposed to do? And then a month later, I was driving my brother back from football practice, which my family didn't know I was pregnant still at this time. Driving back, I was in the car. And again, I was like, why did this oh my gosh, so embarrassing. Help. But it's good tears at this point, because I was like, I just like felt so overwhelmed with like this is what you're supposed to do. Like, it might not make sense, still sometimes doesn't make sense, but it's like, this is what you're supposed to do. Like, this little girl's supposed to be here. She's supposed to be here for a reason. I know it. Oh my gosh, she's the most like she loves people. Like, I loved animals growing up. People weren't really for me, but she loves people. She is such a good learner, such a big character. Everyone thinks she's 4 years old. That means her. I'm like, she's 2. And now I know, obviously, I'm like, okay, like, this girl has a future. Like, there's something that she's supposed to be on this earth for a reason, just like all of us are. And like, something recently, I went to a doctor recently, and he just asked me if I had any kids, and I said, yeah, like, I have a 2-year-old, and I was like, and he was like, oh wow, like, you got a head start. And I was like, yeah, well, it wasn't really planned. And he's like, no, every child's planned. Like, someone planned them to be here. Who, you know? And I was like, so true. Now I'm just getting... She was like, when did you have your last period? And I literally just started crying. It was like mid-October or late October, almost November. And I was like, talking to her, and I'm just crying, and she was like, I keep having dreams that you're pregnant. And she's like, when did you have your last period? And I was like, I haven't had a period. I was crying in the bathroom with her. I cannot imagine being a mom and finding out your 17-year-old daughter's pregnant with someone they just met. Like, I'm sure she was feeling so many things, but she was so there for me. Like, she comforted me. She was such a good mother. Oh my gosh. My dad's from Venezuela. He is a Venezuelan man. Like, he's the kindest, sweetest person ever, but he is scary when you are his child. You're like, and he's a lawyer, wears suits. Like, I mean, yeah. So I was like, really scared to tell my dad. So about 2 weeks went by. My mom was like, when are you going to tell Jack? Like, when are you going to tell Jack? And I was like, I'm too scared. And I was like, when are you going to tell, like, my dad? When are you going to tell my dad? And so she finally told my dad. And I didn't know she had told him. It was about 2 weeks after I had told her. So this is all just in secret. Like, this is just, like, a very shameful, suppressing feeling. Like, you're always just, like, this is a sin. I did something wrong. Like, this has to be so secretive. Like, no one can know. And it just brought so much shame to me. Immediately. Shame, guilt for being a young mother, shame for committing a sin, which, like, you know, it's fine. But I just had all this shame and guilt. And my dad called me downstairs. He's like, let's go on a car ride. Like, I have to show you something. And I was just like, oh, he knows. And he's playing the good guy right now. I was like, he knows, and he's going to handle it so well, and I'm going to be such a mess. So I go in the car with him. He's like, do you want to get ice cream? Or, like, do you want to get fries from McDonald's? I was like, sure. He starts talking to me, and he's just like, it's funny because, like, I used to cry about this, like, in so much pain, and now I'm crying about it in, like, gratitude. It's, like, weird. So different. That's how you can tell I've definitely healed, or I've been trying to. But he just was like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you got this. Like, we're going to be here for you. Like, we're going to take care of you. Like, whatever you need, like, we will be here for you. We'll be here for this baby. Like, he was so sweet, so feeling towards him. And I was like, oh gosh, like, you know, a lot of people are texting me that they're proud of me. Thank you. I love you. I was just like, oh gosh, like, it's, my dad's gonna literally just, like, it's gonna be so bad. It's gonna, like, I don't know. But my dad handled it with so much grace, so much kindness. And actually, birthday to him, I kind of, like, feel like he is owed my freedom. Like, he's taken so many bullets for me from them. The things they've called my dad, the way they've treated him, when my dad could have thrown him in jail immediately. My dad could have put him in jail the second he found out I was pregnant. Are you kidding me? My dad's a lawyer. My dad, he was... And us so bad. After all that we did for them. I'm getting nervous rashes. Right here. I just feel for my parents, like, so hard, especially now being a mom. Like, I can't imagine. They just get so... And I'm just like, why do you have so much hate in your heart? Whatever happened to you to make you hate other people so much? Like, I'm sorry that happened. But, like, other people shouldn't be treated this way. And they will always think that they are the victims, that they are the poor look me in the eyes and say, I am so sorry you went through that. That was not okay. But instead I get, you're a piece of shit and you ruined my life. So, can't always get what you want, obviously. And you have to move on without an apology sometimes. And that's what I'm learning. It's very hard. It's very hard. But yeah, my dad just handled it so well. He was just so kind to me, so supportive. Warriors, they're fighters. They're gonna fight for their kids. They don't care what anyone says. If you say, my mom's being petty, like, do you think my mom cares? My mom's birthed 4 children, and she has traveled to so many countries, and is like, she doesn't care, trust me. My mom's way stronger than your 12-year-old opinion on the internet, but she's gonna stand up for me. Like, she's sick of it. My parents have been silent too, because my parents were trying to do what was best for him this whole time, and protect him this whole time. So, after I told him I was pregnant, they were really pushing for me to tell Jack, and I was just very scared. Like, I was scared because I knew the truth in my heart, and I knew it wasn't gonna work. Like, I knew I was like, what if I'm showing by then? Like, it's gonna be like such a disaster. And my mom's like, you just need to tell him, you just need to tell him. He was in Europe at the time, I was in Florida. I got the courage one day just to FaceTime him and tell him. And I had already been going through my pregnancy for 4 months. June, July, August, September, October, November. So 5 months. I was already 5 months pregnant. And I called him. I said that, like, I said, you know, like, how I haven't been feeling well lately. And then I just start crying. And I'm just like, well, like, I've been sick, and this is why, like, I'm pregnant. And he just sat there on the phone just staring at me. And I was like, please don't tell anyone yet. Like, please don't tell your mom, please. Because, like, his mom doesn't really, like, support our relationship. Like, she'll say she loved me. I was always a threat to, like, their livelihood because they, like, live off his income. So, like, I was always a threat to them. I was always, like, a danger, which I didn't really understand either, because I was just like, oh, we're gonna get married and, like, whatever. But I get it now. Like, if Jack fell in love with me and married me, then he would leave them, and, like, his mom was just too in love with him to, like, face it. So, and, like, of course I was, like, friends with them at the time, but, like, even before I found I was pregnant, I was, like, considering breaking up with him. Like, I was talking to one of the girlfriends. I don't know. They don't really, like, they're okay with, like, drinking, smoking, cussing, like, arguing, like, screaming at each other. Like, I did not grow up with that. Like, it's kind of freaking me out. Like, I don't know if what's gonna work out between him and I, just because the dynamics, like, he's never gonna leave them, and, like, I just felt like I didn't really fit in, and I was trying to be someone else to fit in. I said they loved me, but again, words, man. Words are just words. Like, ooh. I think a lot of the actions are a lot of hate, not a lot of love. But, and I'm sure they have their own side and whatever, and they probably think I'm a horrible person, but, like, I'm just telling you what I went through, okay? Like, I need to move on. Like, tired of just staying in silence and, like, not being myself. Like, I want to be authentic on my Instagram. I want to talk about my struggles. I want to talk about things that I always hide because I'm someone who decides not to, you know. It's up to you, I guess. But, yeah, so I told him I was pregnant, and I just told him not to tell anyone. And immediately he hangs up the phone, doesn't say a word to me. He's just kind of sitting there like, I just messed up my life, right? Which I understand. Like, I understand, like, feeling that way. Like, of course, like, it's scary. I'm not, like, blaming him for that or, like, anything. I get a call from, sorry, I'm getting text. Immediately I get a call from his mom. I'm like, great. He already told his mom. It took, like, 2 seconds. She's just talking to me, like, saying, like, what I have to do, like, I don't know, like, telling me, like, kind of, like, putting me in a corner, like, saying, like, kind of, like, blaming me, but, like, at the same time being like, but we're into other stuff because, like, I've kind of, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to, like, make things worse, but there's other things that were said that I've tried to speak up on before, but they were like, no, you're lying, which I'm not. It's like, what I went through, I didn't actually go through to them. It's insane. But I'm just 17 on the phone with 3 people. 3 people are calling me, his family members. You're pregnant. Oh my gosh, you can't to call him. Like, and then I was like, I shouldn't have called him. Then everyone collected themselves and said, you know what, it'll be fine. We'll take care of, like, He said he'd take care of me. And I told him, put him on the phone. You do not have to do this. I literally said, like, you can walk away. I will never, like, come after you. I will never, like, ask for anything. Like, if you don't want to take care of a baby, like, understand, like, you have a life, you have a dream job, you have, like, everything. Like, I will just take care of the baby. We can never talk again. That's fine. But he said no. Like, he wanted to be there for me. He wanted to be there for the baby. And he wanted us to be a family, and he wanted it to work. After, like, an hour of him talking to his mom, he finally called me. And then I was like, okay, I believed him because I'm a nice person, and I really wanted it to work because I never wanted to be from I wasn't from a split family, and I know so many friends and who are from like one day Lavender's just like, yeah, like, it's okay, like, it's better this way because they were young and whatever. Like, I always hope for that, just because it just, you know, takes a lot of, like, pain away from the child and even from the parents. But yeah, so just trying to navigate this. He hasn't told anyone. I think he told so I think he told him, and that was it. And we decided, like, we went because he was scared to tell the management and scared to tell the boys because he was scared they would tell management or something, you know. Like, we're just scared of them because they're literally the scary people. I have so many things to say about Randy Phillips. So many things to say. I'm not scared of him anymore. So, and if for some reason something happens to me, no, it's him. Look up his name and you'll just look him up on the internet. You'll see. I don't know, he probably is hidden everything. So it's so funny that he's being glorified now. I don't understand. That's what an abusive person does, you know. It's like such a pattern. He's abusing them, they're abusing other people the same exact way. It's like, blows my mind. But so I wish I could just go back to myself and be like, girl, tell everyone, tell whoever you want, like, this is something that should be celebrated. Like, if any of you that are pregnant or will get pregnant or want to be pregnant or whatever, it is such a beautiful thing. It is never something to be ashamed of. I don't care how it happened. I don't care if you're scared or whatever. You're allowed to feel everything, and it should never be taken from you or be suppressed or hidden. Like, it's beautiful no matter how old you are. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're old or young. It's a beautiful thing. And if people think it's a bad thing, like, ew, we don't need them. Pregnancy is beautiful. Being a mom's beautiful. Raising children is beautiful. Growing a child in your stomach, are you kidding me? Beautiful. And I didn't know that. I didn't know these things. I wasn't like now I do. I have so many friends that just like are such amazing moms, and they're just like, oh, if you have something against women, like, I don't feel comfortable flicking people off on Instagram, unlike some people, but I don't want my daughter to see me flicking anyone off. But if you hate women, so told him, and we were just like not telling anyone. We didn't know what to do. My parents were like, their parents would talk. He sent my dad a text, my parents, saying it was all his fault, which is so funny, so ironic. Don't worry, I have 3 phones full of like proof, like evidence. I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I honestly don't know. Probably to an extent, but like I don't know why, because I'm not like lying. I'm telling the truth. times. I'm sure I said mean things and behaved a certain way, but like I was really scared. Like I didn't know how to burping. I didn't know how to defend myself back then like I do now. But I was just trying to do my best to make everyone happy except for myself. Also a lesson learned. Eventually we got to a point where, because I was like, I'm gonna start showing like a lot more soon. And so I guess like we came to some agreement where we would start to tell, or we were gonna tell the manager, Randy Phillips. Ugh. And I think my dad actually came with us, and we had lunch and sat down all together. Told him I was pregnant. He seemed super cool at the time, but he is the biggest liar and manipulator I know, so of course he seemed cool at the time. Okay, cool guy, like, oh, you're pregnant, like, what, you guys need protection or something? I'm like, and my dad was like trying to be like, my dad came to talk to this man, my daughter's pregnant by your boy band member, like, obviously I'm not really happy, but I'm still here trying to support and make sure that they have a happy family. But he's the bad person, right? So, sitting with Randy, don't even thinking about him, so gross. He wanted me dead, and my child, so it's really just hard to wrap your head around, you know, being compassionate to someone like that right now. So we sat there, talked to him, he said he would talk to Dave, their other manager. He kind of was like playing cool, just saying like he didn't know what we should do, like kind of trying to put the strategy. So basically my whole entire pregnancy was also strategized, like how we're gonna announce it, like who's gonna know, like let's just, all these men just playing me like a chess card, like here you go, like we're gonna just basically tell you when you're gonna announce your pregnancy, how you're gonna feel about being pregnant, your baby shower, where you're gonna give birth, all these things, like we're gonna, you're just a woman and like you've ruined our lives. So yeah, we talked to Randy. He seemed just like trying to like come up with ideas, like to do like an announcement on this day, or do an announcement on this day, or like take pictures like with their photographer to like make it look all good. So basically he was like, don't tell anyone. Like at this point, this is not when he got mean, but I knew it was coming. We got leave. It seemed like good. Like I felt like a weight was lifted off my chest. I was like, okay, like maybe this won't be so bad after all. 2 hours later, I think he gets a call from one of them, and they're like, what did you do? Like, this is gonna ruin your career, it's gonna ruin us. Like Randy literally said if he could put me pregnant, in a box, and leave me on the side of the road, he would. He said those words about me to all of them when they had their little special meeting. And you know, like, I had moments where like each of them have stood up for me in a way, and like once like they all knew, because after he told the manager, then he kind of told everyone, and like the families, like Anna and Carrie, like so kind to me, so sweet to me, like they were all so kind to me. Like I never want anyone to think that like anything bad about them, because honestly, like though they weren't necessarily my friends and I didn't choose them, they became my friends because of it, you know, like. And so like Anna was like super helpful to me, and like all the girlfriends, like Tate, Christina, and Kay, like those were my only friends. Like they weren't again necessarily what I chose, but hard time. And even while they were going through hard times, like in their relationships. So at this point, I'm about 6 or 7 months, and I think at this point I had moved. I grew up in Florida. I was living with my family, and I wanted Jack to be a part of the pregnancy more. Like I wanted him to like be there and see me grow, and like I wanted him to feel more part of it, because I knew if he didn't, he would not care, you know, like that's how I felt. So I moved there around Christmas time, and I was just super depressed, and like they had a lot of issues like with eating, and they would comment on how much I ate, and like it made me feel like super bad, and I got really and I thought that was a love. I thought I was being cared for, and I'm like, my dad found out I was sleeping on the couch. He's like, absolutely not. So about like right then and there, my dad paid for an apartment for my mom, me, and my sister to live in right by theirs. My dad sacrificed 2 years of his marriage so that I could be close to Jack. So my mom lived with me with Rachel, and we lived in California. I didn't want to live in California. Oh my gosh. No, I did not. Of course not. I just felt like I had no choice. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna live here. Well, and I don't feel like it like kind of like goes with what I like feel like. I don't want like partying and alcohol and drugs. Like I don't really want that around my kid. And like in LA, it's kind of inevitable. Like it's everywhere. It's more like normalized there, which just isn't me. Like if that's what you want to do, like it's okay, but it just wasn't how I wanted to raise my child. Not in that kind of environment. So, and I still love traveling. Like that was such something I was so passionate about, and I wanted to keep doing. And like I shared these things with Jack, and I told him like I would be living here for a little bit for him, but it was going to be like not forever. And he was fine with that. He agreed with me. He said he'd want to live in Hawaii, and he said that that I would, and like I did. I did, but for some reason I never let him see her, right? How does that make any sense? So I'm 7-8 months, 7-ish. We just told everyone. I was just bullied by all of them, just like, don't anyone see you, don't let anyone see you. Like baggy sweatshirts. I cried every night. I felt like I was trapped in a box. I felt like, and like it was like everyone was like nice to me, but it was kind of like I was like a ticking time bomb. Like kind of like we have to be nice if she stays quiet, but like we don't really feel this way about her. Like we're doing this so she doesn't say anything, you know? And then like if like there was like a blow up or an argument, it would be immediately turned around by like a gift or like something. So like to me, and she'll say like I was such a good girlfriend, but like that was not true. Like she did everything to like separate us, and like I've even talked to like him about it, and like he agreed at one point, or like was kind of like, yeah, I see it, but like now it's like forget it, like his mom's a saint. But like we just didn't have a good relationship, and again like hard in the moment to think about it because you're like, this is my person. Like I was like, girl, I wish I could go back in time for her and just like be like, don't move somewhere for someone that won't care about you in a year. Move where you want, live your life, talk about your pregnancy, do whatever you want, girl. And that's why when people are like, she should move back to LA, it's like, why? He gets to live, he chose to live in LA. He's not from LA. He moved there. All. If he should live his life, so should I. And if he wants to move right next door to me, he can. I told him that. I said, you can move right next door to me if you want, and Lavender can walk over every day. And he said, no, I can't because I like it here and this is where I work. Okay, that's fine. Right? That's fine. I'm not dragging him for it. Like, and who knows, like I could live closer at some point. I don't know. I'm just living my life. I am 20 years old. I'm trying to figure out where I live, what I want to do. Like, hello? The slack that's just not there. Hope you guys all have slack and sympathy in your life, because the nervous rash is still there. But sorry, I keep getting on little like tangents because it's a long story, and I might miss things, and I still want to like release a book and just go in more detail. lots of fights. He would be gone a lot. He'd be partying a lot. He'd be on tour, and, you know, always issues with girls, and, like, it just was hard. I was at home by myself without a single friend except for Emma, and just, like, people in his circle knew. So my only friends were people in his circle. And, like, I'm still very grateful for them because, again, like, they were my friends. They are my friends. They are still my friends to this day. No matter what's... We saw what happened and we're with you. Like, a lot of them. And I understand, like, some of them don't feel like they have that place, and it's not, like, a pick or choose side, but I'm just saying, like, people that were there for me, like, are still there for me, and I met them through him. And, like, and his, like, I, like, just need to, like, make this, like, a public statement, but his, like, family, like, his Avery side of the family has been nothing but and this has had open communication with Lavender. No one's ever been robbed of that. Just because I put up boundaries, they are so mad at me for putting up boundaries. Because before I was a little scared cat on the side of the road, like, whatever you say, like, I'm so scared. And now I'm like, no, you lied to me. No, you've abused me. No. And they're like, are you kidding me? You put up a boundary? Like, oh my gosh, you're such a bitch for protecting yourself. Oh my gosh, you're such a bitch for protecting Lavender. Like, wow, she's horrible. She's such a horrible person. She does this, she does that. And then everyone on the internet's like, yes, you're correct. Because she is a woman and she has a vagina, so she must be bad. If you haven't noticed, I have changed so much since I was... If people freak out about your boundaries, that is scary and that is bad, and you need to run in the opposite direction. Because boundaries are a good thing. But I didn't know that also when I was younger. Anyway, it's hard, again, tangents, because each thing, like, it's like, there's so much to it, which is a book. A book will be in your near future. I've been working on it, but it's hard because it brings up a lot. Like, I try not to get upset about it anymore, because you're like, why are you still getting upset about something that happened so long ago? But it's like, I'm not healed yet. Like, I'm not. I'm trying, but it's really hard to heal when someone keeps pulling you back. It's like, I'm like, okay, like, I feel better. Like, okay, like, I'm getting in a good relationship, like, without trauma. Because, like, I've had such a hard time dating because, like, I've had issues. Like, I, like, don't trust people, or, like, someone gets close and I'm like, nope. Or I don't want them to be, like, I don't want, like, Lavender to see me date. Like, it's, like, a whole thing. Like, it's hard. Like, I don't know how to date as a single 20-year-old parent. I'm not just single at 20, I'm a single 20-year-old parent. I'm just learning, and everyone wants to criticize me for it. It's crazy. So, and, like, he can date whoever he wants to. Like, what? We're just trying to live our lives, like, live our 20s, and there's so many people like, you're living your 20s. Holding pinkies and being like, we got this. But I guess there's people that are just really mean, so. Anyway. Back to my story. Sorry it's so long. How long have I been talking? Like 2 hours or an hour? Thanks for staying with me. This is an important part of my journey. Hope I'm talking loud enough because I mumble a lot. And I have really loud AC. Anyway, so I'm like, 7-8 months pregnant and just really depressed. He's gone the whole time. It wasn't really how I expected my pregnancy to go, right? Like, I was like, at least he would love me and be here. And like he said, he loved me. And like, I'm sure he'll say, like, I loved her so much. And I don't know what he would say he did for me, because I'm not really sure. But my parents were paying for where I lived. I, like, that still, like, is hard for me. I was by myself, though. Like, he would come and go because it was his job, and I was so supportive of that. I was like, you know what? And he would tell me, like, they told me if I kept it a secret, I would be keeping his job. So they were, like, on top of me like a hawk. Like, no one can see you. Like, I actually, like, was so sick of being alone that I DM'd, Yasmin. We're, like, best friends now, and Leola. We're also, like, we're all best friends, but we're best friends. And, well, more of my best friends that I've made over the years. So I saw their stuff on YouTube. both of them, and I was pregnant and still scared, and I was like scared to even tell them because I was like, what if they tell someone? But I'm like, how, it's such a big world, like no one cares if a Why Don't We member girl's pregnant. I don't know, obviously it doesn't matter, but they were so sweet to me. And Yasmin, like, she's just such an adventurous, like, go-getter. She was like, let me come visit you, like, haven't ever met you before, but we're like, yes, like, friends, like, oh my gosh, like, I was so excited to have friends, so excited. And they came, and I was like so happy. Like, it was like the first time I'd probably been happy, like, and my mom was gone at the time, so my mom left and they came and stayed with me. I was so happy, and we're hanging out, and I just like loved them. I was like, oh my gosh, I love them so much, you know, we got along so well. Pregnant, like, tell her to take it down, tell her to take it down, tell her to like chill on that, okay, like push it down, like she doesn't need to be like posting that she's with teen moms. And I was like, are you kidding me? So of course it starts a fight between Jack and I, and we're fight. So our whole relationship was like, someone says something that I did, and then we fight, and then like he says mean things to me, like, you're so selfish. You know how many times I've heard throughout my pregnancy, you are so selfish? And I like, they will still tell me that it's all about me. I'm like, how is it about me? Like, I'm trying to now make it about me because it's not been about me for so long, and I had sacrificed everything, my well-being, my teenage years, now my 20s, so much. And I'm like, how is it? I'm like, okay, like, two friends that would never said anything or never cared that I was dating someone, and why don't we? They just wanted to be my friend and thought I was sweet and cute, and we got along really well. So just things like that, like, just create so much trauma and so much like self-distrust, because doing your best, like what 6-year-old wants to be told that they have to hide their pregnancy, that they're a horrible person, that they've ruined the person they love's life, that they're gonna ruin their person they love's career, like, all because you got pregnant. You horrible person, you got pregnant. That's always what it was. It's funny because I remember Jack texted my dad a while ago, like when I first found out, and he said it was his fault. So I'm almost 9 months. I am 9 months, actually. I think I gave birth this month. The whole pregnancy, he told me that, like, because I wasn't working, and I wasn't, like, depending on him for money, but he kept telling me throughout my pregnancy, like, yeah, I got you, like, don't worry, like, you know, I have a successful job, like, I'll take care of you. My parents were still paying for everything, and doctor's appointments, and all that. Even though he had money, but he couldn't do it because of whatever. X, Y, and Z, Teslas are more important, joints are more important, whatever. But, like, my parents were so, like, kind, and they were like, you know, like, we'd rather just, like, have the baby be born in a peaceful, happy family. Like, we just want the baby to be born, like, everything to be fine. You know, my parents were just really pushing, like, we'll take care of you as long as we need to, but, like, we do want him to be responsible, but we'll get there, you know? Because, of course, like, accountability, like, but accountability, doing whatever. I'm pregnant. I'm taking accountability right now. When I gave birth, I was taking accountability. Trust me, I thought I was gonna die. So he's telling me he's gonna take care of me until he's gonna take care of me. I would just love to hear what he'd have to say about this. And then I'm 9 months pregnant, and he looks at me and says, yeah, you're gonna have to get a job. I'm like, this whole time I could have been working this whole time, like, on Instagram. I was still posting on Instagram because I was trying to, like, keep the lie going, you know, girl doesn't fall off the face of the earth after dating a boy band member. So I had to post on Instagram to also hide my pregnancy, and while I was getting hated on for being whatever I was, so many bad words, but whatever, we're not gonna using him for his money, but like not like he was like paying for anything. Like he told me he's done so much for me by paying for my dinners. I've dated like people with like no money and they will still gladly pay for my dinners, and they had never said anything. I was like, what? Paid for my dinners? So like doo-doo. And then I was like, what? Like, okay, well, like, that's fine, but, like, I can't get a job right now. I'm 9 months pregnant. Like, I have to start working after, and, like, you know, I, like, need to finish high school, like, all this stuff, and I think that became another fight. I'm sure it was his mom's doing, because his mom didn't want me to take any of his money, even though, like, when you have a baby, like, it costs money. That's also part about being accountable. Like, trust me, like, I have to work because it's money. And everyone will tell you that you deserve to party and smoke and do all those things because you have had a hard life, so you deserve it. Yeah. So he's telling me that, and he made a lot, like, I don't know, like, I don't know if I should get into finances. A lot of people are like, yes, do it. Everyone's texting me, like, I will use evidence, I will use text, I will use everything, like, I'm just trying to get this off my chest right now because I was just sick of my DMs and sick of my tags and people coming after my parents. Like, really? This would have all just been fine if his mom would have just kept it to herself for a second, since me and Jack were trying to figure out what to do because I was sick. I give birth in like a month, and okay, got it. So I'm like, at that point, I think like that was really when I was like, okay, like, I do not trust you, and I'm gonna work on this relationship for our daughter. The whole time we were dating, it was just me putting in all the effort. And again, he would say otherwise because he bought me an off-white bag. He'll say that he was a great boyfriend because he bought me that, but like, obviously, you know, like, whatever. So at that point, I think that's when I like kind of like separated, and I was like, okay, like, don't get your hopes up. But I still had my hopes up. And he was gone again a lot. Like, he was gone a lot throughout my pregnancy, and his family, like, I mean, like, I was just so scared of them. I was so hurt by them that I just started to shut myself off from them too, because I was like, you're of you. She will say she's never said it to me, but I remember it again, like it was yesterday, sitting in the car, her looking at me and telling me it will be my fault if anyone finds out. And so, like, just being 16 and scared, I was like, yes, it is my fault. Yes, I'm a horrible sinner, which is not true. So 9 months pregnant, he leaves again, probably fighting like this whole time, quite honestly, about random things. Like, we'll be in love one day and like not, in love one day, not, in love one day, not. And like, it became just so toxic. Like, I thought that was what a relationship was supposed to be, like, constant arguing. But that's how, like I've seen his mom literally scream at him and call him a piece. Also bring you down, and it freaked me out. So I just like set myself away because I was like, I've already dealt with so much shame and guilt. I just can't take any more, and I just want to be like, near my mom and near my sister and near like Carrie and Anna, like, who loved me, and like that was who I was just like, I just felt more comfortable with. And so I think at this time, like, I'm about to give birth, like, Emma finally visited me. That was my only friend who knew. She came and visited me like right when I was about to pop. And Jack finally came back, I think, the next day, and I went into labor 2 days later. And also, like, throughout my entire pregnancy, I'm not kidding you, this kid just sat, when he was home, he just sat on Fortnite. I don't know, but it triggers me so much to even think about, because while I was going into labor, he was on Fortnite, and he wouldn't listen to me when I was saying I had cramps and my stomach hurt. So So I just think about all of the things, like, I just want to show you, like, text straight up of, like, what I was texted during, like, just, like, so degrading, so mean. Like, even just thinking about it, I just, like literally want to vomit. I just don't know what, honestly, I don't know what they will respond or might, and, like, I'm sure they'll tweet or say something like I'm a horrible person and, like, I did this and da-da, but I'm just telling you, like, I know it's gonna happen because it's been happening this whole time as I'm going through all of this, as he's seeing her, as I'm bending over backwards, as I'm paying thousands of dollars for attorney fees, which I will get into, all of that. And I really don't know. I don't know a single person in real life that dislikes me or thinks badly of me, like, so I really don't know what it is. But I'm about to give birth at this point. So much has happened between our relationship and stuff, and thankfully my parents were there, or my mom was there. Our relationship. Wake him up. I'm, like, crying to my mom. I'm, like, so scared. It's, like, 3 a.m. Or it's, like, 1 a.m. But we got to the hospital, like, 3 a.m. And his mom has been pretty harsh to me this whole pregnancy. And I was, like, I really just want it to be fine from now on. Like, I know I'm, like, super angry. And I probably hold a lot of anger and resentment towards her and towards their family. Just because I feel like they did that to me. Which, why did I do that? I should have had only, like, people who loved me around me. Instead, I have my mom, my sister who love me, and then this person and this other person who would probably rather see me die during labor. So I, like, told him to call his mom, and he calls her, and she's like, is she really giving birth? It's 5 a.m. And he was like, yes. So she comes over, my mom and sister are there, and he's there, and I'm, like, freaked out. I'm like, this is it for me, folks. I'm gonna die. Like, throwing up, dry heaving, like, in so much pain, and there wasn't any rooms, and I was, like, on this checkup table thing, and I was like, I just wanted it to be over. So finally, after, like, a few hours or so, gave birth, and everything was fine. You know, I was like, okay, like, it's all worth it. Like, this is my baby. I love her. Like, imagine being depressed and having anxiety. Like, I would literally be sleeping and wake up in the middle of the night, like, just, like, breathing, having to check my phone to, like, look at my tags to see if someone took a picture of me pregnant. I would wake up like that every morning, my whole pregnancy. And so, like, finally I felt it all go away. I felt all of that anxiety, all of that depression. Like, as soon as I gave birth and saw her, I was like, it's finally over. Like, it's gone. Like, I'll never have to deal with it again. Like, I'm safe now. My baby's safe. Like, it's all fine. It was all okay. Like, whatever, right? I was like, I'm ready to just, like, forget it and move on. Like, happy family time. Like, my baby's born. Like, still haven't even told anyone that I'm pregnant. I just had a baby and no one knows. No one knows. I think my grandparents finally knew when I was, like, 8 months pregnant. So mom, and his mom was telling him to not sign the birth certificate. And I remember my mom overheard them, and so she didn't want to tell me yet because she was like, oh my gosh, like, this will just shatter her. Like, she just gave birth and this woman is already trying to split them apart. And I just invited her to be at my birth. Like, that's so special and important. Like, she was there. I wanted to, like, let her be a part of that person. Oh my gosh. You are so horrible for doing that. So he calls her, or she calls him, tells him not to sign a birth certificate. Which I was just in bed sleeping with my baby, and my mom heard it, and she immediately called her and was like, do not do this to them. Like, do not. And and Jack was like, what should I do? Like, he was, like, scared. He was like, she didn't want him to sign it. She says because she didn't want anyone to know it was his baby. And at this point, I just wish just didn't let him. Because you don't, if you're literally calling your son to not, oh. And then my mom just talked to him and was like, you do what you feel is best in your heart, and like, it's wrong, that was wrong of her and all this stuff. And then I guess, you know, like, I talked to him and I was like, well, I want it to be like your last name because I thought we were getting married and gonna live happily ever after. Yeah, right. That was only my plan. Once I was no use to them, bye-bye. So he signed it, and she has his last name, and I was like, yes, then he'll finally love me because I gave birth to his child and she has his last name. Again, girl, I'm so sorry. But it's, sorry, so many nice people texting me. I'm sure it's scared for both of us, and I'm sure, like, you know, everyone's like, I'm sure they have their own side to the story. Like, I am sure, but, like, this is true. Like, whether they were scared, it was, like, no, there's still no reason to treat me that way because I, like, did so much literally for them. And, so, yeah, I, gave birth, and already the drama came through. My mom didn't end up telling me until, like, the next day, because she was like, I didn't want to tell you in the moment because I knew it would have, like, made you upset. And I was just like, oh my gosh, why did I let her come to my birth? Like, why did I do that? Like, she still hates me. Like, she still doesn't love me. Like, she still doesn't want Lavender. Like, I was so mad. And that's just, like, of course you're gonna think that. Like, I'm sure, like, you know, I'm sure they love. So I found out, and then I was like, yeah, I'm, like, actually done with her. And, like, I just feel like it's such a toxic relationship for him and her and for me and her. And it was just kind of to the point where it was like, he is gonna have to choose, like, his mom or me. Like, it was getting to that place because she would, like, say things about me to him and say what I wasn't doing. And, like, so when I gave birth, like, to Lavender, like, they all, like, his whole family saw her and stuff. And, like, I mean, I was always excited to have, like, a big family, like, big extended family and stuff. And so, like, I was really trying to, even though I had a lot of, like, hurt and, like, resentment in my heart, I was just trying to let it go so we could just have a family. And it was just, like, the more I tried to let it go, the harder they pushed me. Like, and again, there's, like, a lot of things I'm leaving out. And, like, other people and other things. But so, you know, like, and his other family comes, like, his grandparents, his aunt. I love his aunt so much. I love his grandparents. Like, they've been really kind to me. They've been helpful. They've, like, you know, like, they're sweet. They all visited. Like, all this family has visited. I think my grandparents came out. My siblings came out. So still, this, like, 3 days postpartum, 3 days. No one knows I've just delivered a baby. I've been pregnant for 9 months and just delivered a baby. And I was, like, mind blown by that. And I remember the day I went into labor, people were, like, exposing my like, private Instagram. And, like, they were, like, making up fake stuff. I don't remember. That's always going on. And I was like, of course, when I'm going into labor, this is what's happening. Like, people were, like, saying I was pregnant and stuff. Just being really mean. Birth to a baby, so if you want to see her, you can come and see her. Like, I was never like, you can't see her. They just never would want to come over because they didn't feel comfortable around my family, because my family was like, why is he not, like, stepping up? Like, why is he not, like, financially providing? Like, why is he just hiding from us, basically? And so my parents were starting to get more aggressive with them because they were like, this, like, my dad had paid for the medical bills at this point, like, and that is so gracious. You know, like, so gracious. And for some reason, like, we were still being, like, selfish. I don't understand. So I'm still living in LA with Lavender, not where I planned on living with my child, not where I planned on necessarily giving birth, but I was there for him. I think he had to go into go back and forth with his mom. Like, she would sometimes like me, sometimes not, sometimes say I was ruining their family, sometimes not. And she would say like my family was horrible and like I needed to like separate from my family. And still none of my friends have known at this point. So I didn't have like anyone I could kind of go to and be like I guess say like, does this sound wrong to you? Like, is this like, am I being in like a, you know, weird situation? Like, I didn't have anyone. And like Anna and like Carrie brought me dinner. Like, they all like were so sweet to me. And like Anna and Rachel like basically like were the morning like watch for Lavender. Like, they would take her in the morning and take care of her. And like I would pump for Jack to feed her a bottle. Like, I was very like, you know, trying to get him involved, trying to get him there. And like he did. Like, you know. So I think like he was supposed to leave in 3 weeks. He said if I wanted to come I could, but like I was like, I don't know yet because I just gave birth to a baby. And then there was drama, like I wasn't visiting their house enough, which I still am like, why couldn't they just come and visit me? And so I was a horrible person because I wouldn't go walk over to their house after just giving birth. I feel like I just gave birth. I just want my little baby to be at our house. Like, I didn't leave the house for like 2.5 weeks. But it was just such a fight. Like, I hated them because I wouldn't bring the baby over there. And I'm just like, just come to the house. Like, it's like a 5-minute walk. So much hate. And like, I feel like his mom like hated anyone who like loved me. Because like, Anna would like take care, like be so kind. Like, she'd always shared everything, you know? And so when people get weird about my parents talking about it, I'm like, please. When people get weird about me talking about it, like, we're done. We're over it. So, like, even just, like, she would come over and, like, Anna would be there, and she'd be so mad that Anna was at our house. I'm like, Anna's helping me. And, like, I still, like, go and walk over to their house. I'm like, I just gave birth. Like, why can't you come over here? I didn't understand that. I was like, why do you, like, and she said she didn't feel comfortable around my family. I'm like, how can you not feel comfortable around the people that just, like, sacrificed the last however many years for your son and you? Like, what? That made no sense to me. Like, I couldn't grasp it. And they, like, really, like, try to paint my family out to be just, like, absolutely horrible. And, like, you could think I just had a baby. Like, I'm just figuring out. Like, I hadn't even held baby, like, since my sister was born or something. I was just figuring out. I loved her so much. I was like, I really thought it was gonna be okay after that, between him and I and the baby, but it just wasn't. It is what it is. Like, I don't care. Like, honestly, thank God, because I would be in a horrible situation right now if I stayed in it. Probably, like, I don't even know if I would still be. I wouldn't have, like, honestly, just because of how much trauma and abuse and like just how like degrading they made me feel. I don't think I would be. Yeah, so I was like, it's just a lot of stuff, but still nothing is like, I'm still living, my parents are still paying the rent. Like, I'm like starting, okay, like now I need to start working, so like it was a whole like argument too about when we're gonna announce. Still haven't announced my child. They were trying to wait till I turned 18 because they didn't want him to get in trouble. So they were trying to wait till it was September for me to be 18. I was like, people can do the math. Like, you go back and realize she was underage when she got pregnant. So yeah, the manager was like, you can't announce it until you're 18. And then like, Jack was like, no, because she's going to come with us to Oahu and people are going to see her with the baby. So you're going to have to like figure it out. And like, you know, like Daniel has stood up for me a lot. Like, I don't know, we're not really like friends anymore, but there was people in there that did stand up for me against Randy, but it just wasn't enough, you know. Like, I was still like treated the way it was, but I do appreciate those people, though I'm not gonna speak on their behalf, like, you know, but like some of us aren't friends, some of us are. But I do appreciate all of the families and like stuff like that. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I was trying to decide if I was gonna go. Money was like just always something, because my parents were just like, we want him to be accountable for Gabriella and the baby, and his mom was like, no, you guys are horrible people, like all this stuff, like, if she wants to live with us, she can. Yeah, I'll live in your 2-bedroom apartment while I sleep on the couch with my baby again. And he was like, San Diego, because I was like, I'd rather live in San Diego, like, maybe we can have a 1-bedroom. Like, I didn't care. I was like, it could be a 1-bedroom apartment, like, since you'll be gone all the time anyway, like, it's not that far for you to drive to work, since you're not gonna be there that much. Also, like, we had talked about it, we had been looking at places, and like, and no, that did not last very long, because he needed to buy a house for his entire family, and me, of course. I just am like, it's just so just ironic to me. It's like, right when I give birth, they buy a house and they like separate my family, like, you know, that was our family being separated, and it was my fault for not living there with them. And I was like, I don't want to live with a family that's like, I want our family to live together, not live with a family. Like, I already was like ready to like not live with my parents, like, you know, like, they're super helpful and supportive, but I was like ready to like, this is money to buy a house. And like, it's crazy, like, I have texts too of like him saying, I was like, because he was like showing me this house, I was like, it's a great house, but like that's not where I'm gonna live. And he was like, what? Like, I told you, like, I was gonna take care of my family first, like, my family's coming first, they're getting what they want, and then like, you're gonna have to suck it up and wait a few years for grateful. And I'm selfish. This also is another text where I'm selfish in, because I don't want to live in a house with him and his family and his dogs when I just gave birth to a baby and these people don't like me. And I was like, this is where the line's drawn. Like, I've done everything for you thus far. I've listened to your rules. Like, I will not be living there. Like, that's for my own health and my own sanity. Like, I can't live in a home that is degrading. So I was just like, no, like, I can't do that. And that was the end of the end. Like, me declining that beautiful offer was the end of the world. And that was honestly when our relationship fell apart. But like, for sure, on his side, like, I think I had just like, his mom was just like saying things about me, and like we were still trying in a sense, like, I was still trying to be there and like still traveling to him a family, so I'm gonna try. And like, and I knew he was like talking to other girls and stuff, like, I know that, and I was just like, it's probably nothing, it's just innocent. And even though of course I was pregnant, didn't have time to talk to anyone. So I think he literally also tried to accuse me of that before, but whatever. To set up a family photo so everyone thinks that my parents are supportive and our families get along and it's such a happy thing. So they paid their photographer to take the family picture of all of us, which all of you know, the announcement photo that was planned that very day. His mom was yelling at him for being at my house, or my parents' place, even though I just gave birth to his baby, and she was like, you love her more than us, and like, that was a whole fight because he asked them to stop yelling at each other, and then she said, oh, you just like their family better and you just want to be with her. And it's like, yeah, I just gave birth, like, oh. So like, yeah, I'll never forget this. So they try to say it didn't happen because they think I forgot it. Yeah, I did not forget it. I will remember, because I'm literally traumatized and have to go through so much to just, anyway. So that was the day we took the picture. That was planned, and it was a whole part of the thing. The only way I was able to announce it is if I took a picture with the whole family. So we did. And again, I'm doing this because I think it's for everyone else, but I'm still very selfish and a horrible person. Remember that. He sees Lavender, like, there's no taking Lavender away. It was just, I was taking Lavender away from his family because his family wouldn't walk 5 minutes over to see her. I would invite them over, like, I would invite, like, the girls to come, like, hang out, and it was just always so awkward because, like, I could tell they, like, hated my mom, even though my mom was making them dinner. And, like, it was just so weird. And then, finally, like, I announced the baby, scared out of my mind. I guess it went pretty well. There was like some backlash, you know, people were like, oh, he got an underage girl pregnant, and I was shutting that stuff down, even though that was true and I was manipulated into not using protection, but I was still defending him because I was like, ah. And my parents still being like good about it, posting nice things about it, like just trying to make it a good thing for me and for him, you know. And then so I posted it, and you know, like, I think most of you have been there for that. This is when like most of my friends found out. Most of my friends had to find out through Instagram. I called a few friends, called Riley, and like felt so bad for her. I was like she was my best friend too, and I was like, I'm sorry, like they told me, like, and I was scared because she went to my high school, so I just felt like scared telling her, and she just handled it with so well. She wasn't mad at me or anything. She just didn't believe me at first. She was like, yeah, right, you weren't pregnant, and just gave birth to a baby and didn't tell me. And she was just so sweet and kind. Her family so sweet and kind. They just were like, okay, we love you and we love your baby. And pretty much everyone else in my life was the same. They were like, we understand that was hard. I can't imagine what you went through. We love you. We love your baby. And I was like, why can't everyone else be nice to me but not like them? Like, why do they hate me so much after what I did? So this time I wasn't 18 yet. I decided, there was like a bunch of drama too, going to Oahu. And like his mom always followed him everywhere too. I don't know, she's like in love with him. I'm sure people are gonna say something, but I don't know, it's interesting. So they wanted to go to Hawaii too, and it was like a whole thing about who was gonna pay for it, blah blah. Eventually, I decided to go because I just wanted him to see her before he went to Japan. He was gonna go to Japan for 2 months, and I was like, okay, so I'll go to Hawaii so he can see her and spend more time with her. So I flew there at 3 weeks postpartum, 3 weeks after having a baby. I was over there, and just so he could see her more, and just so he could spend time with her more. And I was like so scared, so I asked my mom, my sister, and Anna. They all came to help me with Lavender. And even then, so much drama. Why is she asking her mom to watch Lavender and not me? Like, you can go. And my mom texted her, you can come hang out with us, like, we're at the pool. Never would go. Like, how much more can you do there? Like, she said she feels uncomfortable being around my family because my family was like, hey, your son needs to, like, pay money for his daughter. And that was, like, they were like, how dare you say that to us? It's none of your business how much he makes. Like, when my dad's spending, like, thousands, he probably spent $100,000. He has to have throughout that whole thing, more than that. So, I'm, like, it's just very confusing, very lost. A very lost time. And he was going to leave to go to Japan and Asia and stuff, and we're done with that trip, so I went back home. So he went, and then in August he was gonna be in Minnesota, and I love the Frantic, so I was like, oh, I'll go to Minnesota and bring Lavender again. Hadn't seen her in 2 months. Who's flying to him to bring her? Me. She was like 4 months old, and I think I went to Kauai to visit Leola during that 4 months, and like when I was with them, you know, they were like, this is a really unhealthy relationship. Like, they were telling me, like, it was really toxic just by reading our texts and stuff. And they were like, we support you, but I was with Allie and Leola, and they were like, we support you, but, like, this seems, like, very unhealthy. And I kind of was, like, telling them stuff. And, like, I hadn't had a chance to, like, talk to other people, so this was kind of, like, the first time. And, like, my parents knew it was, like, not good, but they just had so much faith in me and, like, really wanted to do the right thing. And they thought the right thing was keeping us together. And so, yeah, I was in Kauai, and then I was like, well, I'm going to Minnesota right after, and like kind of gonna see how it is with him and I, and see if like we'll still be together. But it was so toxic. Like, it was like he would do something and then bring me back in, and then do something and then bring me back in. Like, I'm sure I was just as equally toxic, because I was like so like, oh my gosh. And I didn't know not 18 yet, I was 17. So I didn't know, and like I literally, like, I don't want to play the, like, I didn't know card, but, like, I was just trying to figure it out. Like, 17, just had a baby with someone who, you know, doesn't love you, but you still have to, like, try because you don't want a broken family, and you have all these, like, past things of how you were raised in your head, and you have all these new things that you believe, and it was just, like, really hard. So I go to Minnesota, and I just am there. I bring Lavender. Put her little headphones on so she can go to the concert and watch him. But I'm a horrible person. I'm selfish, right? And he sometimes also would not pay for my plane ticket, but pay for his mom's to come out. And he would tell me I had to pay for my own ticket. Even on my birthday. On my birthday, he told me you had to pay for your own ticket if you want to come see me, because I'd pay for my mom's. And anytime I would go somewhere, she would come too. Anyway, I don't want to, like, get into her too much, honestly, because it's so exhausting. But I went to Minnesota, and I was there. I think it was like okay, like it was just for 3 days before he had to go somewhere else, and we were just like hanging out, and I was just trying to like, you know, like Lavender, like do this with her, and it was hard because he was working, but I was just trying my best, like involve the people around, like the bandmates and stuff, and like I was trying to like be in his life so hard. And then I think I went back home after that, and I don't think I was going to see him until around my birthday, and Lavender needed to get her passport because I was planning on flying to Europe by myself to go again bring Lavender to him. And supporting him this whole time, supporting his career, not getting any money from this, nothing. Like, I'm just supporting him because I believe in faith that like at some point we'll have our family together and what he said will be true. I think at this point I'm sort of kind of like work on Instagram because he told me I need to work and I need to use my platform because I was a lazy whatever and selfish again. So more. And so I've been at my place that my parents are still paying for. So this is September. Lavender was 5 months old, and he's not living like with me or staying with me. He's living at his other house, so he flies in and goes there, or I think I pick him up and then he goes there, and then like hangs out with Lavender a little bit and leaves. And they lived an hour and a half away at this point. They used to live 5 minutes away from me. Saw me probably about 2 times after I gave birth. And then so they moved an hour and a half away. LA traffic, like I hated driving by myself with Lavender. Hated it. She would scream so loud. It was so hard, and like it was just really hard. And I was like comfortable in my little space, like, you know, like still just gave birth, still trying to like make a relationship work, when he decided like he was gonna live with them and not with me. But my parents are still paying for me to live there. And then this is around almost my birthday. So I went, and I was like, he was arguing with me, fighting with me about like how he wouldn't stay with me, and if I wanted to see him I would have to go stay there. And I was really scared to go there, like honestly scared to go to their house. And like I was like, it's fine, like I'm like friends with his sisters, and like I'll go and like it'll be okay. And even when I'm there, I don't feel, you know, I'm just like, they don't love me, and like, but I still like let them like hang out with Lavender, like let them watch Lavender. Me and Jack went and did things because I wanted them to feel like a part of it, because his mom said how I never let her watch Lavender, so I let her watch Lavender. And also like my mom hardly watched her, like I just loved being with her, like, and if like my mom or like Rachel and them took care of her, like I was always home, like I was just used to always being around her. Like it wasn't anything like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm not leaving Lavender with you. It was literally like, I don't leave Lavender with anyone. Like, why is it about you? Like, how I parent, if I want to be with my daughter, like, that shouldn't be something you take so offensively. And she would always just how it was. Like, me and Lavender were just like this all the time. Like, she was a baby, I was a mom, I breastfed her, you know, like, Jack's on tour, like, we were just like homies all the time. And I just didn't like leaving her. I would get so much anxiety. Like, I wasn't used to that. I still, like, I left her there, and I stayed the night there. The next day, we went to go get her a passport, and the next day was going to be my birthday. My 18th birthday. The big ol' 18. Now I am no more used to them because I'm an adult, right? I plans. And then the night before my birthday, my mom made a reservation for us to go to this dinner. He calls me a little bit before the dinner, and he's like, hey, like, do you still want to go? And I'm like, yeah, like, it's kind of like but he just, like, made it seem like he was too tired, didn't want to go and stuff, and I just got really sad and really upset. And I was like, fine, like, and he's like, here, like, it's my new house. And I was like, you know, like, I just felt really sad. I was like, whatever, of course, like, it's, do whatever you want, like, I was just really sad about it. And I was just over it. And that night, we just got in a big fight, and on the phone with me, cussing me out, but right before my 18th birthday, told me no one would ever love me again. Like literally telling me this. I'm sitting there crying. He's telling me no one will ever love me again. That I'm this and that. So selfish. Like, you can't just, like, suck it up and See me, cussing me, and he's like, hey babe, I'll call you right back, I gotta go take the trash out. And I'm like, what? Like, you just told these horrible things to me, and then you're just gonna say, hey babe, gotta go real quick, I'll call you back? I was like, I'm done. I was like, I gotta get out. Like, everything was telling me, like, leave this relationship, like, this is so wrong, this is so bad, like, he doesn't care about you, like, I know you want a family, but all this stuff, you know? And then the next day tries to come to it's my birthday. We planned, me, Anna, and Rachel, and Lavender decided to go to Catalina Island, and I was really sad. Obviously, like, I basically just had broken up with my boyfriend, even though, like, it wasn't really sad. It was just kind of like, the next morning he tried to come over, and I was like, I don't want to see you today, like, and he's like, you're taking my daughter away from me, like, he came and tried to bring me, like, a gift, and I was like, I just don't want to do this today, like, please, and texting me, like, you're taking my daughter away from me, like, and I honestly can't really remember too much what happened after that. I think, like, I'm sure he ended up coming over, like, the next few days or something, and yeah, so that happened, and then he was gonna leave to go to Europe. And then I kept saying, I know I keep saying this, but I literally kept saying, this is my last straw. After that, I, like, honestly don't even I hardly consider us being together at that point. Like, I still was, but he wasn't. He was already moving on to, like, you know, boy band things. But I was still like, okay, like, this time is my last try. Like, I already have my ticket to go to Europe at 18 by myself with Lavender. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. It was the first, like, long or girls, and, like, I'm just like, whatever, like, to you. He didn't even, like, touch me that trip. Didn't even, like, it was, like, so weird for me. But I brought Lavender there so he could see her. I flew for him to see her. And I told him, because I told him I would do that. I told him I would fly to where he needed me. You know, like, if we were in a relationship, like, I would be there for him. And then, like, the last few days, I was like, should I stay longer? And he's like, no. Like, you don't need to. And I was just like, okay, he doesn't want you here. And I was like, I knew there was, like, things wrong, and, like, you know, some people might say, like, this is, like, so bad of me, but I went on his phone just he was just there to visit, and I think that's when he first met Lav. She was so mad about it. She was, like, begging to be flown out, and Jack was like, no, like, we're trying to work on a relationship, da-da-da. So I go on his phone, Reese texts with his mom, and she's literally texting him, like, you need to end your relationship with her, like, you need to get lawyers and stuff, like, we need to, like, start pushing, you need to start getting custody, like, you deserve your rights to your daughter, like, all these things. And I'm literally sitting there, like, we're literally just trying to figure out our relationship, like, I've done everything this far, like, I was so scared, I was so sad. Like, had someone watch the door for me. I took pictures of the text on, because I was like, this is ridiculous, like, this cannot be real. So she's just, like, feeding him basically to end our relationship, and he did say, like, he was like, just please leave me alone, like, I'm just trying to work it out. But then I was just like, if this, and I saw it, I don't even think I told him I saw it until, like, after we had been really done. I don't even know if he knows. But I saw that, and I was like, okay, oh my gosh. And then I did another naughty thing, and, well, I guess this might not be bad, because he was gone, I was left in London, he was in this other place in England, I think, because I didn't want to leave it. I don't know, I was like, I've found so much this far, what if I find more? I go on his iPad, immediately goes to Instagram, and immediately he gets a DM, and I just go to I swiped his DMs, and it's just all girls. All these girls. And I was like, so, like, I was just like, so, like, because are you kidding me? Like, And yeah, it wasn't necessarily like, hey baby, but it might as well have been like kissy faces, like, I miss you, like, when you coming to LA, like, I mean, girl. I took pictures of all of them, sent it to him. I'm like, are you kidding me? I just flew all this way, like, you don't care about me, all this stuff. He's like, chill, you're so crazy, like, I'm just friends with them, like, can I not have friends, like, all this stuff. And I'm literally like, I just gave birth to your baby, like, you hate me, like, I flew all the way here, like, you hate me, like. I wasn't enough for him at that point. Like, we hadn't like slept together in a while, and like whether he wants to admit it or not, I know that's what it was about. So I was just kind of like scared, and I was scared. I didn't want to sleep with him. Like, after I had Lavender, I was scared, and he didn't care. He was already moving on to the next. So I leave the next day, or like the next 2 days after that. I kind of just like kept it together and was like, yeah, like, I am crazy, you're right. He's like, yeah, I know, I was trying to tell you. Just so and then I left like the next few days, and then literally right as I leave, this like all this drama happens where this fan was like, I'm gonna go hook up with Jack, like, that's why he sent Gabriella. Why is she even believing it? Like, oh my gosh, seriously? But I was like, I do believe it, like, I do, like, I think that, why would he not want me to stay, like, why was he DMing girls, like, all this stuff. And so it's just like, whether they're friends or not, like, I know for a fact, like, my partner, like, my boyfriend right now would never even put me in a position where I would think that he doesn't care about me. Like, he would never, like, be DMing girls. Like, I would never go on his phone and find kissy faces to girls and stuff, because, like, he respects me. And, like, at that point, like, all I knew was him, so I was like, is this normal? Like, do you guys, if you're in a relationship, like, that's monogamous, does that mean you still talk to people? I'm like, maybe I am crazy. And I was with Lavender. Him and I were arguing because I wouldn't go drive to their house for Halloween, and I was like, I'm not driving with Lavender. If they want to see her, I have text. I was like, your family's welcome to come here anytime. If they want to come, they can come see her. I'm not driving that far with my baby right now. Like, if you want to come drive here and drive me there, like, you know, I was like, I think even at that point, though, I was like, I don't want to go at all. Like, I was just like, they can come here. Like, I was so, like, upset with, like, how I was being treated, and then, like, why do I have to jump in the car, drive 2 hours on Halloween, and you're going out that night? And so I was just home and sad, and, like, he was going to a party, and Anna and I think another friend of mine, like, that were, like, in the 20s were going out, and they were like, just come, like, you've been so sad for so long, like, just come out with us. Like, I hadn't really been out since, like, before Lavender. No, I don't really drink. And I was really sad, and I was like, you know what, fine, like, I'm gonna get pretty, I'm gonna post a pretty picture, and I'm gonna go out. Like, you know, like, if he's gonna be mean to me, like, I'm gonna go out. So I got dressed cute, like, last minute kind of costume thing. We took pictures with my friend Andre. Like, I was like, okay, I already feel better. Like, you're right, I should have gone out. We go, we're just, like, hanging out. Like, I'm still not drinking because I'm breastfeeding. Like, I'm not doing anything bad. We're just, like, happy to be with, like, some girls and, like, dress up cute and go out. And LA's, like, kind of, ugh, for parties anyway. It's, like, everyone's doing crack and stuff. But I was just, like, happy to be, like, dancing with my girls and, like, he's at the same party, and I'm scared of him. I'm literally scared of him. Like, I will, like, shake at sometimes when I would see him, even when we were dating, and his family, and his sister and him were there, and I was like, why? I was like, I just wanted to go out for one night and not have to deal with this. And, like, we had just been arguing. He tries to walk up to me and tries to kiss me, and I literally am like back away from him. And I, like, walk away from him. Oh, that was the end of it, which is good. It's probably fine. I got screamed at. His sister came, found me, was yelling at me, like, literally screaming at me at this party. I'm in a ball, like this, looking up. She's, like, screaming at me, telling me I ruined her brother's life. Like, I'm such a selfish person. Like, I'm telling you, screaming at me, like, down to me. And I'm, like, just in a ball. This is the first time I've been out since I've had a child. I still have, like, postpartum anxiety. I'm just, like, and they leave, and I get a text that says, F-U-C-K-U, F-U-C-K-U, F-U-C-K-U. And that is how he broke up with me. After all of that I just said, explained for almost 2 hours, that is how I got broken up with. Not a let's sit down and say and talk about this. We can't work out. It's a toxic relationship. Just F you. And the next day I was flying to see his grandmother, his Avery grandmother, in wherever she lives. And he could have come with me. We invited him to come. He didn't want to come because he just got home and his friends were there. I was flying the next day for his grandmother to meet Lavender. I still went. I still flew and went. And she was so kind to me and made me beef stew and made me feel like I was a part of the family, not one that hated me. And I kind of told her, I was like, this is what's happening. Like, this is why you texted me yesterday. Happened, like, and it's funny because, like, I always say, like, I went through all of that to avoid what's happening today. I hid my pregnancy. I went through so much pain and trauma so that our family could be together, and it, like, never mattered. At the end of the day, it was always going to be, like, I will be used until I'm not anything of use anymore, and then I was going to be discarded. I just didn't know that. So this is, like, officially done. And it's already hard for me because his lifestyle does not match mine. Partying, drinking, smoking. Like, some people think that's fine. Not for me. Not for me as a parent. Not my kind of vibes. Like, don't want my kid around alcohol. I get back home from visiting his grandmother, and I think he was going to be home for, like, a few months. Or no, a month. And I had planned a trip to go to Australia. I had been saving since July, or we bought the tickets in July, me and my friend Allie. And it's been planned since July. He's known about it, and he was going to be in Australia at the same time, so I kind of, like, planned it around then, and my family lives there. So he was just being really nasty to me, like, again, because I just, like, I wouldn't drive to their house. Like, I didn't want to. I was, again, you guys can come here. Like, you can come here and see Lavender. No, that's not fair. Like, I have rights to my daughter. Like, I can see her. I can take her from you if I want. Like, all this stuff. And I was just so scared. Again, I had never left her with anyone. It was hard for me to leave her with anyone. I really wanted him to come over. And we never, like, spend time all together as the three of us. And I feel like that was important for her. Like, this is just my mom process of thinking. I'm thinking, if my little daughter sees me with her dad and we're all together, she'll feel, like, more safe and I'll feel more safe. But it was like, no, I will not come over for there. I just want to take her. Like, she's my daughter. Like, I won't. He wouldn't see me with her. He only wanted to take her. And no one else has driven with her. Like, no one else has been with her. Like, I was not saying, no, you can't come. I was saying, you can come, but I'm going to be there and, like, we're going to be together. And, like, he was gone all the time. So, like, and the only way he saw her was because I brought her to him. But again, I never let him see her, right? I'm so horrible. Never let him see her. So selfish. Like, some parents work and they're gone all the time. That doesn't make them less of a parent, but that also means the child doesn't know them as much. So I was just like, just come over. Like, you can, like, play with her at our house. Like, we have so many toys that she's used to. Like, I think it's important for kids to be, like, in a consistent schedule, consistent environment. And, like, if you want to be in their life, like, you're going to have to make the effort because this is a little baby. But it was, like, that was, like, the worst thing I could ever do and say. I was, like, horrible for asking for that. And he was like, oh, just because you want me back. Like, you just want to, like, see me. Like, I don't want to see you. Like, just because you want me back. Like, always playing that card. I'm like, oh. So, I'm 18 years old. I'm like, what's going on? And I was planning to go to Australia, and he was going to be there at the same time. Still not getting along. I think it was, like, 2 days before I left Australia. I got filed with letters to the court from his sister's boyfriend that they were going to take my child away from me, that I was not a deserving mother. If I left the country, like, it would be over for me, even though he already knew I was leaving, even though, like, all this stuff. And I find out that they had been planning this since June or July, when we were still together. I was like, what? Like, we saw papers that his mom was meeting with a lawyer, like, when him and I were still, like, happily together. And Lavender was, like, 3 or 4 months old. No, not even that, like, 2. And I was like, what? Like, this has been a plan all along. Like, I felt like it was, like, once I turned 18, they were like, okay, like, we're gonna take the baby from her. So I immediately, like, I already have so much anxiety. He texts me, I literally, like, my mom would, like, come in the room, I'd be, like, shaking like this, sweating. Just him texting me, like, it could be something, like, I don't know, it'd just be, like, something stupid, but I would just be, like, shaking because I was so scared. And I was getting threats, like, we're gonna take the baby away from you, like, you don't deserve her, like, you're not a deserving mother. And I would be like what did I do, all this stuff? And I already planned this trip to Australia. I was really excited to go. This was gonna be like my, like, you know, like, resting place for me. I was just going for a month, and he was already gonna be gone for 3 months. He was going to Australia, then he was going to Asia. So I was like, why can't I go? And I was like, if I go, you can see her, like, when we're there. So then I had to get a lawyer. Here goes some more money to spend, which is exhausting, horrible, and absolutely disgusting. There is no justice in the justice system. It is the most disgusting thing ever, and I don't wish it upon anyone. Like, it's horrible. And people that think they know what's going on and, like, want to say, like, oh, no, it's like, no, like, stop. Like, she's a child. She doesn't deserve to go, like, be treated like a thing. She's not a thing. She should have a voice and an opinion. Like, if she says something, like, I'm gonna listen to her. I'm gonna ask her if this is okay. There never any consent. That's the thing that makes me so mad. Like, there's no consent. There's no, hey baby, hey toddler, hey little girl, do you want to do this right now? Yes or no? Nope. It's, I have rights. This is mine. I'm taking her. And, like, of course, like, now it's different, but then it was just so scary because you're like, my baby should have a choice in this. Like, she should have a choice. Like, I should be able to be there. I'm her mother. Like, I've been taking care of her all this time. Like, why would you want to take her from me? But in their mind, I was taking her from them. And I'm like, it's just a small process. I'm asking about, like, a year of time for her to get to know all of you with me around. Then after that, I'm sure it'd be fine. Like, I'm sure she doesn't care. Like, she knows you. Like, it's whatever. And nope. I'm taking her from them. I'm horrible. Blah, blah. Somehow I end up being able to go to Australia. I think it's because we negotiated something for me to see him while he was there. But still, just, like, mean text all of the time. And, like, I would still text him pictures of her all of the time. And, like, I would still, like, talk to him about her. Like, say that she's growing her teeth or whatever. And at this point, I had no communication with his mom or, like, other family. Like, it was just kind of just him. And I was just over it. Like, they blocked me on Instagram. Stuff like that. And so I was like, whatever, it's fine. In Australia, like, I just felt like I needed to be there right now. You know, that was just part of it. I just felt so good there. And he was there, so he literally got to see her while he was there. Of course, it was a whole fight because I wouldn't, again, drive to him at his concert place. And so he did end up coming to me. I told him, I was like, you can come here, you can stay the night. I told him he can stay the night there until the next day. He didn't want to. But got to see Lavender. Everything's fine. I'm being there. I'm not taking her. I'm just putting up boundaries. Like, they hated my boundaries, so they turned my boundaries into, like, they were, like, I was taking them away from something, but I was just putting up a boundary, you know? Like, this is my boundary as a mother that I think should be respected. Nope, don't care. Who cares? You're nothing, all this stuff. So degrading to me. And it's funny because, like, once I got back to LA, they just put so much restrictions on me. Like, I couldn't fly anywhere without telling him. I couldn't go anywhere. But he was allowed to fly around the whole world, do whatever he wants. He's in Korea with girls posting them, like, naked on him and drinking and saying, oh, like, we're hooking up with these, like, stupid boys. Like, all this stuff spreading around the internet while, again, I'm at home crying. And then it was December. This was going to be the first Christmas with her. And, like, I know a lot of people were, like, super mean to me during this time because I was so hurt and I made, like, a public post. But I was just so sad. Like, I'd done all of that, and then I wanted to spend Christmas in Florida. I was like, please let me go to Florida, spend Christmas with my family. I didn't last year. Like, please let me go. No, I have Lavender this Christmas. No, I'm going to take her this Christmas. And I was like, can I just go? At least, like, just please let me go. Like, I want to go to Florida. So he finally lets me go, which is literally insane to say that he let me go. I don't... No one should be able to let me do anything. Like, what? Disgusting. Just the control, the fear instilled control and hatred for me for putting up boundaries and not doing what they wanted to do after I already did what they wanted to do. Okay, my pregnancy, bring her to him, like, doing everything, just trying to navigate what kind of mother I want to be, like, and I'm, like, listening to my daughter, like, I know who she is, like, I know how she is, so I know what's best for her. Sorry, like, I do. Like, me, I'm the one person, especially when she was at that little, that knew what's best for her. He did not want to believe me. He didn't want to believe me, like, with breastfeeding. He wanted me to stop breastfeeding. I was like, I want to breastfeed, like, my child, and I will. So, really, really sad day. Christmas, I flew to Florida for a week before Christmas. The day before Christmas Eve, I had to fly back to LA by myself. I was, like, it was like a whole thing. Like, they went to court and said like this was his only day that he could see her, so he has to see her then, and I was not allowing him to see her, which again, I said he could come to Florida and spend Christmas with my family. Nope. So I was like dragged back to LA. I was in the car, my mom was dropping me off at the airport, and I was in the car like screaming to the top of my lungs, like pushing the seat. And like 2 days before this, he was in Florida for a concert, and he wouldn't stay there just for Christmas to see Lavender. I had to go to LA. I remember just screaming, pushing the dashboard, like screaming that I didn't want to go, that I was so scared, and that I didn't want to like leave Lavender. It's just hard when it's like something that's like against your will, like when already so much of it was against my will, and then more things are being taken from me. It's like a hard, like, it's just a very scary thing. And so I remember just like screaming and pushing against it, and I was like, don't let me go, like, don't let me go. And then they said if I didn't go, I would get Lavender taken from me, which is always it's funny, they say I take her from her, but their main number one thing they come after me is that we'll take her from you. Like, you don't deserve her, we'll take her from you. If you don't do this, we'll take her from you. And I was scared because they had money and power, and like, it was just crazy. And like, even like, it's just like so many things, like just the environment that he lived and how he put her, like, I just can't. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. So I was just in the car screaming. I finally just got the courage to get out because I was like, and like, I was so scared. So I get on the airplane crying the whole time, sobbing the whole time. I get there sobbing the whole time. My dad was like, I can't let her be there by herself. My dad flew out. Here's another Christmas spent of our family being separated. So my dad flies out with me to be with me, and he's just being such a rock. Like, again, could literally just go out there, punch Jack, and just be like, you know, say things to him. He doesn't. He lets me go down there by myself, take Lavender to her. Oh, he deserves her, like, good for her, like, she's complaining about not having her, like, all this stuff. And I was like, how do you not see, like, I'm trying so hard to like make it like about her, but it's always about him and like what he deserves and what he wants. And I'm just like it's just so like mind like boggling. And so all my Christmas, I was just, again, just depression just followed me. Basically anywhere he was, depression was there. Cry, like hyperventilating, cry. Like, I finally gone to a place where, I would be like, I would have to really calm myself down because I just was like, I didn't understand. I was so sad, so angry, and I didn't know why this was happening to me or why he treated me like this after what I did. It was like so mind boggling. And then he would call me names and like say I was these horrible things, and I'm like, I'm not that. Like, I just take care of my daughter. Like, I just want to be a mom. Like, that's all I want to do. And then so they had her for Christmas, and I was raged and like, how dare I, like, I'm taking this from him. And I'm just like, yep, here goes another person just sticking up for the man because they're always right? They can never do no wrong. And it's just so invalidating to have like a bunch of people like don't know anything about you. Oh, hold on a sec. Oh, I don't want to stop this. Can I mute this? Is it working? Can someone tell me if it's working? That's broken. It's broken. That one works. Is it working? Is it working? I don't know. I'm sorry. I just had to move because I actually have clean ladies come for the first time ever, and I'm really sorry if it's like bad lighting and stuff. I just had to move sections. Where was I? Oh, Christmas, the horrible Christmas of my life. I was like, I'm gonna hate Christmas forever. And like that's how I felt. I felt like I was just gonna turn into like some mean, angry person, because that's how I felt on the inside. Like I was like, I just felt so distraught, so heartbroken, all these things. And yeah, so that was how I spent my Christmas. And of course people on the internet being so mean, saying all this stuff, and it's just like harder when you have to face like a bunch of lies. And like I try to speak out about it, and then it's like, hold on one sec. And like again, like this is just like, I'm just trying to like say my story, my experience, and what I've been through, and like how I'm just so sick of it. I'm sick of the bullying and the putting down, and like people just saying such nasty things about me, when it's like I'm just doing my best as a mother, as like a person who's the split parent that's been abusive and like hurts you. And like it's hard to forgive someone who's my life. Like it's weird. It's like they don't want me to move on, but they're not there for me. It's just like weird. Yeah, so that Christmas really sucked. My dad was there for me. I actually went to Kay's house for Christmas, and their family very kind to me, very supportive, like was like sorry for what I was going through. And like I don't care what anyone says, it sucks for a parent to be without their kid on Christmas, whether they're happy and co-parenting or not. So for people to just take that from me because he deserves it, he deserves to have her, like I was like, I'm still sad though. Like I can still be sad, you know. And so yeah, that was Christmas. I'm just trying to go through all the years basically. And then we're just like constantly in court, and I have stuff to say about that, but I don't know if I'm allowed to. So it's just a lot. It's a lot for like anyone to go to, let alone someone in their teens and their early 20s, like trying to live a life. And like I couldn't move anywhere that I wanted to because he like put a restriction on me. So finally I was just getting to the place where I was like fed up. I was like, I cannot live in LA anymore. Like I'm like getting so depressed, and like this is not okay. Like I want to live with my family for a little bit until I find out where I want to live. And somehow we came to some agreement. I don't know how it got to the place. And like during this time it was still like weird. Like he wouldn't come and see her if I was there. He had to take her. So he started getting visitations with her like 3 times a week. Sometimes he would miss it. Sometimes he would drive in hungover. People would drive him to his visit, and he would be stumbling out of the car and be like, and I would be crying. And that's what the visitation was. It was like 3 times a week or something, because he was home. He didn't have work for like a little bit. And I was just sad. I would always be like, why can't we just do something like peaceful and be together and all that stuff? But then I just became so mad at him. And I'm sure I've said mean things to him. I'm sure, because I've been so angry. I've not been nice. Like, I know I haven't, but like it was just a crazy situation. And yeah, so this was like about almost June of 2020. It was before COVID. Like, or no, so COVID was in March. Okay, so I went one more time back up to Kauai to visit Leola, and I was like, maybe we'll move here, like if he lets me, because he was gonna leave on tour soon. So I was like, he won't really have much to say if he's not in LA. Like, you know, I should be able to live here if I'm like willing to like bring her to him or something. So I went to go check it out, and then COVID hit, and then I was like, I'm not gonna be in LA during COVID. I'm gonna be with my family. So somehow we came to some agreement. I honestly, like, I'm telling you, like, it's so much trauma and so much to remember that sometimes I forget, especially when it comes to like the court stuff. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say or what I'm not, and like I don't want to make my lawyers mad, even though like really so family court is just disgusting. Like, I'm gonna write a whole book about family court, and I don't know, I probably shouldn't even have said that. Like, they're gonna come after me for my head. But yeah, so COVID, I go to Florida. I just want to be with my family. I was like, if this is the end of the world, like, I kind of was like, you know, I want to be there. And LA was just like getting so bad. So somehow I got to the point where I was able to stay in Florida for a little bit. And my end goal was like, I was hoping I could end up in Kauai while he was like traveling on tour or something. Like, we could like make something work so I could go there. So again, not from LA. I moved there for him, and I was just over it. I was like, okay, you're not really seeing her that much. You're working, like, I'm done, and COVID's happening, and everyone might die, so I'm gonna go to Florida, and, like, we can figure out visits or something then. So I go there, felt a little better, but still being harassed by text, harassed by emails, still getting threatened to take lavender away from me. Because, like, flying wasn't really, like, they were, like, strict about that, and, like, if he flew, he had to get, like, tested or something. I think it was before testing, it was, like, quarantining, and, like, people were like, that's so unfair, he has to quarantine to see his daughter, and it was just one time. But I was like, I would quarantine to see her, like, I don't know. So we came eventually to Florida, I think for her birthday. It was in April. And, like, every visit he came to, he would never come alone. He would bring friends, he would bring his mom, he'd bring sisters. He never came alone, and that also made me so mad. Maybe it's, like, there's no reason to be mad, but I would be mad because I'm, like, I'm doing this by myself, and he just brings people to help him, and, like, all this stuff. And, like, I'd be like, he's probably not even doing anything. Like, he's probably not, like, putting her to bed. Like, that was just me being me, and, like, who knows? Like, maybe he was, like, maybe it was fine. But this is, like, I was just, like, so mad that he couldn't do it by himself, because I was, like, I'm forced to do it by myself every day. And Lavender's still very close to me, like, doesn't spend much time away from me, still breastfeeding. He was trying to get me to stop breastfeeding so much because he didn't want her attached to me, which didn't work out because it actually backfired, and my child still asked for me to breastfeed her. We're not breastfeeding, but she became so, like, there's, like, a, like, weird, like, I don't know what the word is, but she definitely has, like, attachment issues from, like, all of that stuff being taken, like, without, like, knowing where her mom is. Like, it's really messed with her. She's okay now, but it was hard. Like, I saw her go through some stuff, and, like, I even would try to talk to Jack about it, and he would be like, nope, you're lying to me. It's just because she misses her dad, like, all this stuff. And I'd be like, no, like, I'm trying to tell you, like, I don't think this is okay for her right now. Like, she's too young, all this stuff. Nope, didn't matter. So, finally, like, I think at this point she was eating real foods, so it wasn't like she wasn't breastfeeding. I'd have to pump for him to see her, like, pump bottles for him, and, like, I would do all of that. Like, that's a lot of work, too. Oh, my gosh. Even though he was mean to me and didn't like me. So, man, I can't believe this is so long. It's crazy. I'm sorry, guys. So, Florida, COVID, visit. Her first, like, long visit where it was away from me for, like, multiple days. Not nights, but multiple days. Super hard. Just hard being away from your kid. Like, you could say same for him, but it's, like, it's different when, like, you chose to travel. Like, if it wasn't for COVID, he'd still be traveling for work, and we would still have to find something where he wouldn't see her months on end, you know? So, ow! Sorry, I'm messing with this lighter. So, yeah, that was in Florida. I think there was, like, a few visits in Florida before they started threatening me, saying that he was going to drive an RV there and take Lavender, because, like, I didn't feel comfortable going on an airplane yet with her, because they wanted the visits to be in LA, and I was like, well, let's wait till, like, we had to wait till the cases went down. But still, it gave me so much anxiety thinking about flying there and being there. Like, I was so scared to go to LA because I had so much PTSD from, like, just looking at the area I lived in. It was just scary. I don't know. Lots of arguing. Lots of things going back and forth. Lots of mean texts to me. Lots of, like, hate on the internet for me just, like, living my life. Like, how dare I not live in LA even though I'm not from there. It's, like, so weird. But no one has ever taken her from him. They say that so much, but it's just because I put boundaries up and try to make it fair to her. And, like, he is welcome to literally come and walk through my door and hang out with her anytime. Doesn't have to be scheduled, doesn't have to be through the court. I say that. I still say that. And it's like, why? Just because it's not your way, like, means I'm this horrible person. And I don't know, like, there's just been a lot. Like, there's a lot. And, like, I'm still, like, healing from things from my pregnancy. Like, because I haven't healed because I haven't been able to, because the person that did that is still, like, in my life, still, like, harassing me and, like, still, like, I'll, like, say things, like, Because, like, we'll sometimes get in arguments where I'm trying to, like, explain to him why I feel the way I do and, like, why what happened to me wasn't fair. And, like, he'll be like, you need to get over the past. Like, it's so pointless to focus on it. And I'm like, of course it's easy for you to say. Like, of course you're telling me not focus on the past because it's about how bad you treated me. And, like, I don't know. Honestly, like, I know it's, like, this isn't even the end of the story. Like, there's so much, like, with Lavender, like, how she would act when she would get back. And, like, even now, like, my daughter comes back flicking me off and saying, F you. I mean, can you guess really where she got that from? Like, just go on his Instagram for 2 seconds. And I just think it's so funny and ironic how if I posted myself with 2 blunts, drinking alcohol with underage kids, I would be literally canceled in a heartbeat. My daughter would be taken away from me. But I'm like, what's the double standard here? Like, I'm, like, put under a microscope because I want to swim with my daughter. I'm such a horrible mother because she's swimming in the ocean. But, like, dad of the year for smoking 2 blunts, and if you think that stops when Lavender's there, it definitely does not. And there's just, like, things, like, I know he's gonna be furious after this, like, furious. But, like, it's so toxic. Like, he'll just text me, like, mean things, and visitation comes up, he's texting me with exclamation points, being like, thanks, exclamation point. So, I think I explained, yeah, so why this all started was because I was just so fed up. Like, I was like, why is she tweeting this one? Literally, she's there for Christmas. She's there right now with him. And that's fine. I pack her bags. It's just so funny, too. I pack up her suitcase, fold everything so nicely, bring her toys that she likes, bring her a bottle. You know how I get that stuff back? Dirty clothes, thrown in a suitcase, like, stuff sometimes missing. And I'm just like, that alone, I'm just like, you know, some people can say, like, whatever to that, but it's just, like, the thought of, like, there's, like, if I didn't care, I would send her with nothing. I'd be like, figure it out, you know? Like, I'd be so mean, and, like, I wouldn't fly there. I fly there every other month. And, like, he hasn't come to Kauai in, like, I don't know, like, I think since July was last month he came, which, that's his choice. Like, he shouldn't have to only see her at these times. And it's like, it's around his work schedule. Like, the visits are around his work schedule. So I'm just doing what I'm being told yet again. Well, being forced to, more to say. It's more like forced. Yeah, I am just figuring out, and the whole internet thinks they know everything. I probably, like, aggravate them at points, but, like, just sick of it. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them bullying me. Like, my manager, literally, I was on the phone with him, and he was like, you have let them bully you and tear you down for so long. He was like, say whatever you want. Like, he's like, I don't care. Like, this is your truth. You can speak it. And he was like, and I was just like, you're right. Like, I don't know why I've always been so scared. Is because I know they, like, will say mean things about me, but they already do. So who cares? And, like, the people that are gonna believe what they believe, I guess it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like a friend of mine came out about some stuff too, and her stuff is true, and people were trying to take that from her. trying to say it wasn't true, trying to say that they're still a good person, and I'm like, they're not a good person, but everyone's saying that they are. And it's just like, and you're always scared. I've always been scared of that. I've been scared of, like, people just taking the truth away from me. But better. I'm trying my best. Like, for the first time ever, I'm in, like, a happy, like, relationship where someone treats me with kindness and respect, and treats Lavender with kindness and respect, and he even treats Jack with kindness and respect. Like, he's not, you know, like, it's like, why do people assume there's always, like, something going on when we're just trying to, like, move on? And I'm sure Jack's just trying to move on with his life, but it just doesn't feel that way sometimes. It just feels like it's an ongoing fight when it shouldn't be, and no one else struggle, always a fight. That was just my story. If you're all you're gonna take away from this is that the person you support is the perfect person, I'm a horrible person, and that's why you sat on this whole entire live. Sorry, I just can't help you there, but I guess the whole point was just to tell you what I've been going through, and I'm not trying to be here to, like, necessarily point fingers. I'm just saying that is my story, or part of it. There's still so much more, and that's all. Someone said you can't make him something he's not, and that's really funny. But yeah, I don't know. That's all, I guess. Yep. And I hope in the future it's fine. Like, all I could hope for is that it's okay, and that there's no issues, and that Lavender's happy, safe, and protected. That's all I care about. So I'll make sure that she is always safe and protected, and anyone who thinks otherwise, or anyone who would try and think they know everything, yep, that's all. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. some of you are offended. That's sad for you because you don't know anything. Except now you do, so take what you can with this information. This isn't to send hate to anyone or anything like that. I just wanted to talk and say how I felt, what I've been going through, and that I will still move on with a smile. I'll still be posting on Instagram. Cancel culture is so toxic and so disgusting, and this is my life. I'll talk about whatever now, and I'm not gonna care. And I love my life. I love the people in my life. I love my daughter, and I am hoping for the best. So, yep. Bye.